We'll be right back with more from the Climate Makers Halftime Report. Welcome to Season 15. This is Night Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on My TV Charleston.
It's Night Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. It's the Cane Bay Cobras taking on the host school, the West Ashley Wildcats. Jack the Longshaw field side with the legend Everett German. Not only are these two really talented teams, but Mother Nature has joined us tonight, and it might play into this matchup pretty favorably for both of these offenses.
Yeah, both of these teams love to run the football. Not really known for putting it up in the air On a night like tonight, Jack, when the weather can come into play, yeah, you definitely want to have a ground and pound attack. I think that's what we'll see tonight.
We brought our punches. We're ready to go. But for Cane Bay, they brought their stud, Austin Seabrook, who just a year ago, we saw go for a career-long 74-yard touchdown, building off of 140 yards last week. The dude's a doggy.
Yeah, they have a lot of guys that can tote the mail. However, he's kind of the lead back. As you mentioned, a big week last week in the loss to Ashley Ridge. He's licking his chops. He saw what happened last week to this West Ashley defense. They're going to have to keep his eyes on him.
Well, the guy for West Ashley you might be most concerned about on the ground is actually their quarterback. Head coach of Cane Bay, Russell Zaire. He told us in an interview this week that David Dunian was dangerous.
Yeah, a dual threat, one throw last week accounted for all 3 touchdowns for the Wildcats. Came up a little short against May River, but you're right, Jack. This guy can definitely lead this Wildcat offense.
Houdini, Dunian, it flows to me. Don't go anywhere. We got some studs on the gridiron tonight. It's Cane Bay. It's West Ashley. It's Knights Companies. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. It's Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The Cane Bay Cobras travel across the town, just west of the Ashley. They take on our host school, the West Ashley Wildcats. Jack DeLongshell upstairs alongside E. What you got for me today? It's Cruz Chevrolet's keys to the game.
2 outstanding high school football teams on display tonight. Let's start out with the visitors, Cane Bay. Time of possession. They want to shorten this game. Also, take care of the rock. Last week had some untimely turnovers. Coach there wants them to make sure they can protect it and, of course, stay away from danger. They dominated the first half, kind of let up in the second half. You got to play from start to finish. For West Ashley, trench warfare. They're bigger in the trenches. They've got to control the line of scrimmage on the offensive side as well as the defensive side. The quarterback, we talked about him, Dunian Magic. He can do it, run it, throw it. Whatever he needs to do, he needs to lead this team to victory and stick to the script. What you don't want to do, Jack, is fall behind to Cane Bay because they will definitely take the air out of the football. And those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet, where you've got a friend in the car business.
And he's got to pay you back. You hit that note so good right there on Rivers, just north of Northwoods Mall. You got a friend, and West Ashley's got a friend. And their kicker, Jacob Adams, pick number 26, gets ready.
perfect night for football, Jack. Looked like we were going to have a lot of rain. So far, the rain has held off, a nice little breeze. This is what you like to see. Normally, we don't get this in September, so we will absolutely take this picture-perfect weather here at West Ashley Football Stadium.
And walking around the field side, you could kind of feel the energy was contagious with a lot of those big guys that are playing two sides of the ball tonight. Foot meets leather, and an absolutely booming touchback. Brought to you by Knights Companies. Join a team with leadership, integrity, loyalty, and excellence. And that was surely an excellent kickoff to start the night for the Wildcats.
So as we mentioned, Cane Bay will start on offense. Last week, in their first game of the season, a disappointing loss to Ashley Ridge, falling 42-29. I just mentioned, Jack, they led at the half 22-12. Coach Zaire said they just kind of ran out of gas in that second half. They're looking for redemption tonight.
You talk about coaches, and Russell Zaire entering his 15th season will turn to his starting quarterback, Colby LaRocca, just a junior at 5'11", was a backup last season, looking to take the reins. And cliche, but hey, that's the biggest progression development from week 1 to week 2. You start to realize what kind of group you're going to have for the remainder of the season.
Speaking of big, that was a big stop by number 79, Dorian Bond, the junior defensive in there to kind of clog that gap on that opening play.
How about the play in the backfield? That's the captain, Devon Kennard Taylor, the senior, 6'2", 225. That's a Power 5 body exploding into the backfield for about a 3-yard loss.
The one thing you know is West Ashley, they play defense. They make it very difficult for you to be able to move the ball fluently up and down the field. So good job, a good start so far for this West Ashley defense.
Take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals. Those names of the backfield running that triple option tonight. Austin Seabrook, Karan Hoop, Tyler Myers in that backfield. Names to keep an eye on as LaRocca will look to make sure that the offense continues to stay on time. Unable to do so as it's going to be a 3-and-out. West Ashley forcing a big stop.
And once again, Bond making plays. As we take a look at that starting defense, you got to be disciplined against Cane Bay. 3-and-out. That's exactly the start that the Wildcats wanted here tonight.
The big fellas up front. That's what Coach Kiefer let us know. Henry Tetcher, Dorian Bond. Those guys up front really paved the way to make things difficult tonight. Tonight's Sunbelt Rentals starters brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals. Without the right equipment, you've got no game. And a punt down and around to the 43 of West Ashley. Terrific field position as they'll take over.
And we talked about it, Jack, early on. You want to be able to capitalize on this outstanding field position. You want to get ahead, make Cane Bay play from behind. Their strength is not throwing the football. They want to run it. So if you can put the pressure on them and get up a touchdown or two, that totally changes their game plan.
You see the man that's running Donnie Kiefer's offense. It's David Dooney, the senior. His twin brother actually is going to be playing left guard, and they're going to run right behind him. Big run, rumbling, stumbling for about a 16-yard pickup. That was number 25, Will Washington, with a nice game.
Yeah, Cordell Holman there to make the stop for the Cobras.
Take a look at those starting lineups. Actually, hey, we're knocking off some rust still, too. That was from Hanahan just a week ago, but some names to keep an eye on that you don't see on your screen quite yet. Will Washington in that backfield. But on the outside on those flanker spots, Jude Claiborne at tight end and Ethan Renew at split end are going to be names that really look to not only take off this season, but explode in having a huge fall to get recruited at the next level. Big bodies that are dynamite in this offense.
Yeah, Ethan Renew, a big, tall wide receiver, a guy that you can really just throw it up and let him go and get the football. So I know you got banged up a little bit last week, but obviously looking to make a big statement here tonight.
Here's the starting lineups for Cane Bay, DJ Cobbs, and then the twin brothers, Jaden and Jalen Smith. These are behemoths up front. They're going to really need them to pave the way as we got another nice run. Will Washington running right behind the guards up front. That's about an 8-yard gain, and it'll take us in to another Trident technical, that's a rapid repairs red zone run. Alliteration, not my strong suit, as West Ashley is off to the races.
Yeah, Jamari Blandon, the only thing between a touchdown for the Wildcats. So they're showing their will early on. The offensive line doing a nice job of opening holes, as we see there again with the touchdown for the Wildcats.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Will Washington, his 4th carry on the drive is good enough for a Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college, clinical.
Yeah, that's a big body, as you can see right there. Washington, he is a load coming through. Probably not looking forward to having to tackle him. A very aggressive opening drive for the Wildcats. Nothing fancy, just smash mouth, man-on-man football. Round 1 goes to the offensive line of West Ashley.
Field goes up. It's going to split the uprights as Jacob Adams makes it a 7-point lead for West Ashley. Go ahead and take another look. There's nothing difficult about this. 7-0 West Ashley. Big-time defensive stop. I'll be for 6. We head to our first break at the 9:15 mark. It's Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Don't go anywhere. Well, Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet, got off to what Cruise Chevrolet would say in their industry, a racing start. You kind of talked about it in between break. Will Washington so good on that drive, but not able to do so with that big front five.
Hampton O'Donnell, Daniel Dunian, Matt Atkinson, Jack Reddy, and Jimmy Jones getting the job done. It's easy to run when you have holes that wide open. They're bigger, and they showed just how big. It's going to be a long night for Cane Bay if they can't slow down that offensive line of West Ashley.
Hey, doing my homework this week, the one picture that stood out really early was Daniel Dunian, the brother of David Dunian, the starting quarterback, known as the Pancake Platoon. That's what this offensive line likes to go back. They have a huge flag that they take the field with. This front five is really aggressive and really proud and going about their business, as we're going to get another touchback. Another booming kick from Jacob Adams.
And I'm sure the message to this West Ashley football team was to come out fast, come out strong. Last week, fell behind 21-0 to May River. Ended up losing 28-21, so a valiant effort to come back, but kind of dug themselves too deep of a hole early on. That's not the case here tonight. They're taking control right from the start.
Two offenses that are very similar in how they like to go about their business. The military school down the road, the Citadel, this is that triple option that they run. Got to be able to pick up 3 yards, stay on time with the chains. But again, right now, that roar in the trenches that were in your keys, West Ashley's dominating to this point.
Bryson Bowers there on the stop for the Wildcats. You're right. It's just all about discipline. You got to know your gaps. You can't, get caught looking in the backfield. You got to stay in your lane, stay in your zone. That will not allow a Cane Bay to come up with a big play.
Man, how about the play in the backfield? Starting to sound like a broken record. Devon Kennard-Taylor with a huge 5-yard tackle for a loss as the A-back, Austin Seabrook, had nowhere to go.
And just right now, Cane Bay offensive line, they have no answer for the defensive line of West Ashley. The Wildcats really just having their way. They are, no pun intended, they're running wild right now on the defensive side of the football. Everybody making their way to come up with team tackling.
8 in the box for West Ashley. Roca will keep, and he's met almost immediately. Roll call to the football, nowhere to go. First in contact was the captain, Henry Tetrov.
So Bryson Bowers and Noah Brewster last week with 11 tackles in the loss to May River. You're right, it's roll call at the football. I will see you there. They're not allowing the Cobras to have an inch of breathing room.
Punter for Cane Bay heads back out for his second attempt. It's Kevin White. This one going to be almost exactly in the same spot with an advantageous Wildcat bounce. They'll take over at the 38, and this is a dream start for Donnie Kiefer and his group.
Yeah, when you have this type of field position on your first 2 possessions, anything less than a touchdown would be somewhat disappointing. The way they're running the football right now, I seriously will have to see the Wildcats put the football in the air.
We talked about that pancake platoon on the defensive side of the football as well. There's just nowhere to go. You mentioned those front 5, but like Hampton O'Donnell, the left tackle, he just won a state championship with shot put. Like, these are not only big dudes, but wildly athletic as well. Dooney will hand off, and again, same run play right through the middle of field. Looks like a 9-yard pickup, lunging forward and falling forward. He's met by Joshua Frost. Defensive end on the outside, but another really nice carry for Eduardo Lopez-Reyes, West Ashley. Excuse me, Zamari Campbell.
Yeah.
Math's hard. Numbers are difficult. Early mistake. We're all knocking it off.
But right now, obviously, so late flag. I didn't see the yellow hanky on the field. That will negate the big run by the Wildcats. So it'll still stay first down. But yeah, you got to figure, Jack, if you're getting 6, 7, 8, 9 yards a clip on first down, the one thing you don't have to worry about is seeing a lot of third downs when you're having that control and playing ahead of the sticks.
The first negative play from scrimmage for West Ashley, all thanks to the officiating crew, that was head official Daryl Deneau. First we've announced their name tonight. It looks like we're going to get a quick timeout from West Ashley. Hey, they dominated almost every play from scrimmage. One penalty, and Donnie Kiefer goes, hey, boys, the foot off the gas 5 minutes in.
All about the discipline.
Well, we're going to take a break with them down there. West Ashley 7, a quick starting lead over Cane Bay. We'll be right back for this quick break. That's by Knights Companies. It's Knights Companies Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The host school, West Ashley, off to a quick start. So we take the time, slow things down, and kick it down to the third member of our crew, Trooper Bob.
For the sprinkle right now, but I'm down here on the sideline with Keith Anderson with Knights Companies. College isn't for everybody, and if you don't want to go to college, you still have opportunities with Knights Companies, right? Absolutely. Skill set. Well done.
Working on some technical difficulties, as this was surely an interview that you're going to want to hold on to. So we'll have Trooper Bob hang tight, work through some mechanical things down low, and kick it back down there when we've got it figured out. Nothing to figure out offensively for West Ashley right now. We talked about the pancake platoon, but outside of that, what does Cane Bay need to do to try to just slow things down and kind of almost catch their breath in a sense?
Well, I would think because of the size advantage, you can see the West Ashley student section right there having a blast here tonight. I think I see my daughter in the middle of that student section somewhere. But, yeah, having a blast, the kids tonight. But for Cane Bay, they're not having a lot of luck running up the middle. So maybe try to get these big defensive linemen, offensive linemen, at least on offense on the defensive side, running sideline to sideline. They can't run right at them, kind of stretch it out and see if they could tire them out that way. But offensively, yeah, right now everything's working for West Ashley.
Dooney, quick little swing screen to Tyler Burnett, the flanker, for about a 4-yard pickup. And with that, we kick it back down to the third member of our crew. Trooper Bob, what you got for us, sir?
Hey, guys, yeah, a little bit of drizzle falling, but not too bad for Friday night football here. I'm on the sidelines with Knights Company's Keith Anderson. Miss Sir, college isn't for everybody. If you don't go to college, you still have opportunities at Knights Companies, right?
Absolutely. We're all about the community, getting out there to the students, seniors that are graduating. Get those trades, okay, whether it be welding, whether it be diesel tech, I don't care what. Come and see us. We're there for you.
I see the concrete trucks. I see the Knights trucking. Professional drivers, not just skilled drivers, but professional drivers out there at night.
Yes, we're about training our drivers. We want them to think about excellence, think about people, think about integrity, think about leadership. And again, Knights, that circle, that K that you see on the side of those trucks, Knights. All about professionalism. We love it.
Well, you FaceTime your father just a minute ago. We were able to say hello, but we didn't say hello to your mom. So I want to say a big shout out to Miss Anderson.
Hey,
much
Mom.
love here from West Ashley. I'll send it back to you guys.
Hey, much love indeed from the Friday Night Rivals crew to everyone at Knights Companies, but specifically Mr. Keith Anderson for joining us tonight. We go on and rave about these sponsors every week, but, man, to be able to put on these broadcasts, as you see Dooney fall forward for a first down and advancing the drive, cannot thank Knights Companies enough.
Yes, and like you mentioned, sometimes college is not for everybody, but being able to have that option to pick up a trade and be a productive citizen in the community, that's what it's all about. So we appreciate Knights Companies and really all of the sponsors that help make Friday Night Rivals a possibility.
Dooney's going to go back to the ground as Zamari Campbell, the senior halfback. 5'10", 165 pounds, man. He runs like he's 265 pounds.
You know, he's so small, he can kind of hide behind that massive offensive line. So you got to pick him up quickly, because if not, you'll see him running right by you.
All kidding aside, man, West Ashley has run right behind that big center, Matt Atkinson, a junior at 6'4". There's not centers at the Division I level that are 310 pounds like Matt Atkinson. Man, I mean, these guys have just gotten after it in the weight room this summer.
And what's so impressive is not only are they big, but they're also very light on their feet. Great footwork, as we see here as their lead block down the field, as another big run by the Wildcats.
Really nice hit from Cordell Holman to save a touchdown, but right now it don't matter who's back there. Will Washington to Zamari Campbell, a huge 18-yard pickup as they're knocking on the doorstep.
You see the pull block there, just opening holes. Good job by Campbell to bounce it outside, trying to get in the end zone. But again, just great downfield blocking as well by the wide receivers of West Ashley. And the Wildcats once again in the red zone.
There's Jalen Capers on the bottom of your screen, freeing up Zamari Campbell as they go right back to him. To the right side, running through their chest. Does he have enough for a touchdown? That he does. Zamari Campbell, lower the shoulder pads, meet you in the A-gap. Big number 6, I'd flex on him too, sir.
And what's so impressive from this West Ashley team is we take a look at the replay. Nothing fancy here, just lowers his head. It's 1 against 3 white jerseys. You talked about those summer works in the weight room, keeping those legs going, chopping, and a second touchdown of the night for the Wildcats.
You can see his offensive line coach speaking with him as Adams yet again busy. 2 touchbacks, 2 split PATs. And again, whether it be Zamari Campbell or it be Will Washington in the backfield, it has been all Wildcats all the time. A 2-touchdown lead. We still got 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. You know, that commercial break was kind of like the 2 drives that we've seen from West Ashley, frankly. Domination from the Pancake Platoon as West Ashley leads 14-0 with 4:57 to go. We showed you the band. Come on, it might be my favorite part, actually, of high school football, but if we can get another look at that student section, E, you mentioned maybe, I guess, West Ashley's #1 fan earlier in the game.
She's a lot out there. My daughter's out there. We got to get her and all of her friends and the student body to do the 2 thumbs up here. I mean, that usually comes in the second half, but right now the football team has given the student section a lot to cheer about tonight because they are putting on a clinic in terms of how to run the football, run it with authority. Cane Bay, they got to buckle up. They cannot afford to really have another 3 and out right here. They've got to get something going. Here's our thumbs up can. Let's see if we can find that old. There she is in the red hat right there in the middle.
She's going to love us shouting her out. But to Amar, all of her friends, the thumbs up guys over at Millard, Austin, Siegel, and Ward, winning cases, winning your trust. They've had a lot to celebrate tonight. As Cane Bay, this one not going to reach the back of the end zone, will be brought out to around the 35-yard line. That's Austin Steebrook, our player to watch. And hey, we talked about it a little bit. This is a really brand new ball club, especially up front. Is there a guy in particular? I know we shouted out Austin Seabrook in the open that can maybe allow this team to breathe a little bit, and Seabrook busts a big run and all of a sudden get you back in the game.
You almost feel like maybe they're just trying to set this West Ashley defense up. They're not going to have success up the middle. Got to get around the perimeter as they try to do here.
I want that. Nice pitch. Spoken into existence. That was the A-back Cam Smalls in motion pre-snap. A run of about 8 yards. Hard to believe. We haven't had a pass this game. That not necessarily a surprise, but this is the first run of positive yards for Cane Bay.
Yeah, the defense has been phenomenal for West Ashley here early on. Now Cane Bay, you kind of settle in, you kind of test it. You know the middle's not necessarily going to be there from the jump. Maybe you can get on the perimeter, then come back and try to hit it with a fullback trap or, something up the middle. But right now you got to make those big guys up front for West Ashley run sideline to sideline.
Before the snap, encroachment, defense, 5 yards will result in a first down.
That was a really nice hard snap from Colby LaRocca to move the chains. That first down brought to you by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. But again, is that the answer outside the numbers? Because they've obviously got a ton of speed in the backfield. LaRocca's going to drop back to pass the first throw of the game, and he is absolutely rocked. He had Griffin Byers, the wide receiver, slashing through the middle of the field. A little bit more time in the pocket. Could have made a more accurate throw. Big hit in the backfield before second down.
And with all the pressure that's being applied early on from West Ashley, it's easy to see why he wanted to get that one off as soon as he possibly could. So even though it was an incomplete pass, it was a pass on first down. At least it maybe back some of those backers in secondary up, because now you have to be on your toes and you don't want to give up that big play. So maybe it buys them just a little bit more room up front.
This is Smalls on a quick little jet sweep, again outside of the numbers for a 5-yard pickup. And talking about Colby LaRocca, Coach Sayre said, hey, we lost our senior quarterback, Mark Stewart, who was the QB for 3 years. LaRocca, a little bit of a better passer. Maybe that forces West Ashley not play with 8 in the box moving forward.
Yeah, because they're simply not going to have that success like that, so they have to. But what's been very impressive with this West Ashley defense, as we've talked about, just so many hats at the football. It's like you don't see very many isolated tackles. It's 4 or 5 guys there. Good job by the Wildcats.
Oh, man. Again, there's another great play to that linebacker, and that was Noah Brewster. Said led the team with 11 tackles a week ago. You're looking at about 4th and 4, and it looks like Coach Sayre is going to option to leave the offense on the field.
Yeah, at this point, you got to just get something going on here.
There's the broadcaster, Jenks.
4th and 4, but, you never know here. And maybe he just thinks, all right, my defense, if they could just give us a break. They didn't go 3 and out. Still plenty of football left to be played, as they know, because last week they were up by 10 going into the break.
Much better kick from Kevin White. This ball's going to take a great bounce. Going to be down at around the 23-yard line. Them fighting over the ball. Nice snap from their long snapper, Mason Judy. And just flipping the field, too. You think about the last 2 possessions as well. Great field possession. Now they're going to force the Wildcats to go the distance.
First time tonight the ball has been on this end of the field. So now the offense will have to show before. Looks like we had a penalty flag on the play, Jack.
Wait, announcement from head official Daryl Deneau.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. First down.
Well, that doesn't help.
We said still on the opposing side of the field, but a 15-yard penalty that moved the ball to the 39. And again, a nightmarish start from Cane Bay. We mentioned offensively, not only do you lose your quarterback, Mark Stewart, from a year ago, but how about up front, too? You miss a dude that was a first-team all-selection guy in the state, and Andrew Tumbleson, who's the Citadel. Like, they lost some big bodies, which obviously we've seen in the trenches tonight, but the leadership room, like, you got to see someone step up here soon.
Yeah, speaking of leadership, they lost 29 seniors last year. That's unheard of, to lose that many seniors in one class. So they're definitely rebuilding. As a good stop there by the Cane Bay defense.
That was DJ Cobbs, the senior D-end. 6'1", 222 kid, really gets off the football well. As you see, one of the twin brothers. That was Jaden Smith as well at the ball.
Yes, please make sure you say Jaden Smith's name. 5'11", 295, a run stopper in the middle, senior, the charge for this Cobra defense.
But Jaden and Jalen actually played offensive line a year ago. This season with Russell's there saying, hey, we need some more front help on the defensive side, switching over to play on the other side, just looking to plug something up front. Is all of a sudden you're starting to see this Cane Bay defense starting to fight back a little bit.
No, it's almost, when you look at the running backs for West Ashley, it's almost like thunder and lightning. Yeah. You got lightning in right now in terms of the quicker, smaller back, in terms of Zamari Campbell. And then, of course, they bring in the big guy, William Washington. So that's a luxury that West Ashley and this coaching staff that they have, this ability to be able to rotate. And now they throw a third back into the mix, and that is Zion Miller.
They're keeping us on our toes as you're to see Dooney drop back, make his first pass of the game. And how about that ball? Looks like it hit him right on the numbers, but unable to come down with it on the outside. It was number 10, Cameron McCoy.
Nope. Actually, it looks like James Owen, number 19, couldn't quite bring that one in.
Right off the fingertips says, hey, you got to roll that shoulder pad down for me. I got to show some love to 1-9 instead of 1-9. 1-9, excuse me. As Cane Bay, looks like they're going to force a 4 and out.
So that's a win for Cane Bay. After the two previous possessions, West Ashley with the short field able to capitalize and score 2 touchdowns. How about this Cane Bay defense now forcing a 3 and out?
Carter Bowie on for the first time tonight for West Ashley, and a booming, spiraling kick that's going to send Seabrook back to around his own 15. He'll pick up, scamper out of bounds as that was number 3 in coverage, Ethan Renew. A little bit of a late hit, but he'll get away with it.
Nice kick. That's one thing, I've seen thus far, Jack, whether it be this year or in the past. Sometimes special teams, not necessarily, especially earlier in the season, they're still kind of working out the kinks. But that was a very nice kick by West Ashley.
It almost felt like last year when we had that James Island game, their special teams group with 2 Power 5 commits, like all of a sudden, like the standard at that position, not sure if there's an emphasis in the offseason or what, but those kids had cannons. Cane Bay back to the ground. Just under 1:20 left in the first quarter. They trail by 14. This time it's Bryson Johnson. Johnson, who a year ago actually led this running back room with 41 carries, 293 yards, which was good for 32 a game, at 7.1 yards per pop. Again, we've seen 3 running backs for West Ashley, but all of a sudden those A and B backs starting to revolve through as the personnel and depth starting to show. As that's Cam Smalls on the outside for about 4.
Number 1, Cameron Smalls.
Both teams, Cane Bay and West Ashley last year, went to the playoffs, able to kind of extend that season. Obviously, they'd like to go a little further. This is the first year. Cane Bay now in 5A. As you mentioned, Russell Zayer's been there 15 seasons. Got to be one of the longest-standing coaches in the Low Country, I would think.
And was at Cane Bay actually as a basketball coach previous to that. So been around the program, knows the culture well, is a really nice tackle sideline to sideline. Look at the big fella flexing. Devon Kennard Taylor's been all over the field tonight. The Seabrook had no room to go.
Yeah, we've said his name several times tonight, and that's how you track down, that's how you pursue, not giving up on the play. Nice job, nice tackle by Kennard Taylor.
The clock's going to dwindle down. It'll end what will be a forgettable quarter for Cane Bay. West Ashley with a 2-score lead at the end of the first. 14-0. It's Knights Company's Front-End Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. A lot of football left. Don't go anywhere. 2 scores if you missed us. It was Amari Campbell. It was Will Washington. The Wildcats look to keep on rolling. Well, it's a 2-score lead just through one quarter here on Friday night. But want to show you how West Ashley was able to get out to such a quick start. Tonight's stats brought to you by Southeastern Spine Institute, helping hurt people of all ages get back to their active lives, and that offense was active in that first quarter.
Yeah, safe to say West Ashley dominated that first 12 minutes of action. As you can see, 91 total yards, only 18 for Cane Bay, a couple penalties. So first quarter, round one goes to West Ashley, but we know football, it's 4 rounds. We'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, just 12 minutes in, and again, 4th and short. Cane Bay looking to opt to keep that offense on the field. Russell's there, says, hey, let's go build on a drive as time of possession. Like that scoreboard been dominated by the Wildcats. And
I think that's exactly, because I'm like, there's no way he's going to just try to draw him off sides. And it looks that's exactly what Cane Bay was able to do with the hard count.
Before the snap, encroachment, defense, results in a first down.
And I'm sure that Wildcat staff said, hey, watch the ball, don't jump. But again, this Wildcat defense has been so terrorizing, just a little too anxious on that play.
Well, that's the second time tonight that the junior quarterback Colby LaRocca has gotten West Ashley with a hard count. That first down is brought to you by Purpose-Driven Athletics, guiding student athletes to their collegiate success. As Bryson Johnson guides this offense forward with about a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, once again, the Cobras trying to test the middle. Not a lot of luck there as Dorian Bond and Kennard Taylor there, the first Wildcats to meet the ball carrier.
Johnson in for Tyler Myers. They play back and forth personnel-wise at that B-back spot. They'll go right back to him. This time about a 7-yard gain. And Coach Zaire told us in an interview earlier this week, like, if you're not familiar with this wing T-esque triple option set, that B-back has got to be tough, constantly getting hit play after play. And they got one of the toughest dudes around in Bryson Johnson.
I mean, really, when you think about it, the service academies, if they still do, they're really the only ones that I see run this type of offense still, whether it be, Air Force or Navy.
So he's shooting into the backfield. This time Bryson Bowers, just a sophomore linebacker at 6 foot, 200 pounds, a really physical kid, but it was the instincts that allowed him to shoot into the A-gap and force a fourth down.
And that defensive front really doing a nice job of penetrating and getting in the backfield and being very disruptive of this Cobra offense.
This time LaRocca's going to keep it. Great play fake as that entire West Ashley front dove towards Bryson Johnson and LaRocca pick up about 6 and a much-needed fourth down pickup yet again.
It looked like everyone kind of crashed down on the inside read, and nice play by LaRocca to pull it out, take off around the right corner, and pick up a much-needed first down for the Cobras. And we talk about that time possession, Jack, especially with how effective West Ashley's offense is. The longer you can keep them on the sideline, the better it gives you an opportunity to get back into this game.
We told you during the open, expecting rain tonight. It's been absolutely gorgeous, the perfect weather. Those offensive linemen, we joked, were super stoked because, again, this is no surprise to what we were expecting in this ballgame. Two offenses very similar in blueprint, just trying to dominate in the trenches, and this time LaRocca finding some success keeping it and diving onto the outside. Looks like they spot that ball. Should be good enough for another purpose-driven first down.
We were talking with Russell Zaire earlier this week and on the field beforehand, and he mentioned that last week's game against Ashley Ridge, they were, 213?
He said 212, 213
plays in a game. That's unheard of.
We were joking, whatever the number is, he's like, that was one of the worst games I've ever had to grade film for. Because I was there for 5 hours.
And the longest. But with so many guys, and he mentioned that, in the second half, his team kind of wore down because literally, whether it was offense or defense, they were on the field, and these guys, playing both ways. So, yeah, that's Travis Hunter twice.
Dude. And think about what Travis Hunter does, obviously, at Colorado, a big matchup with Nebraska tomorrow. But he does it on the outside. Can you imagine just constantly pounding those shoulder pads into dudes? As you see the chain game, assumes it is good enough for a first down. But, the toll not only on the body, but your conditioning better be right week 1 with this type of play.
Exactly. And like we said, they're catching a break tonight, not as humid as it normally is, but for Cane Bay and that offensive line, because they have so many guys going both ways. But it seems like in terms of tempo, they're still trying to get out the huddle and snap the ball within 5 seconds.
This time they go back to the outside. Ooh, makes a man miss. That's number 1, Cam Smalls, yet again on the outside. He'd had a lot of success just with that really quick jet sweep. But again, it's a little bit of a smaller offensive front, but the deception, all of a sudden this drive starting to pay dividends.
Well, maybe Cane-Bay's found something because they continue to run to the right side. I don't think I've seen one jet sweep yet go to the left. So maybe Cane-Bay has found an area that they could obviously expose to their benefit to pick up positive yardage.
Back under center is LaRocca. This time they go to Bryson Johnson. Nope. I'm telling you, they're going to trick me all night long. Great play fake from Colby LaRocca as he just runs over a defender. Nice play from the free safety spot as Caden McElvey. Not before LaRocca picks up about 6.
And it's all about that discipline. You know, the handball, you got to be able to, watch where the ball is. But you're right. It's very easy to think one player has it, and then there's an additional or another player that has it. So kudos to any defense that plays against Cane-Bay, because it's very difficult to obviously maintain that discipline.
Johnson met almost immediately up front. It's a whole flurry of dudes. Big number 79, Dorian Bond there. There's 33, Noah Brewster on the tackle as well. But, hey, here's the deal. If I'm going to miss upstairs and I got the best view in the house, no wonder defenses can be deceived with where the heck the football is.
I mean, just look at Noah Brewster. You know how some people just look like a football? Look at Noah Brewster. Stands him up at the line of scrimmage, wearing 33, tough. He just has that look like he's a guy that is just made to be a linebacker.
Back to the ground. There's Smalls yet again, running right to that right side, like you mentioned. I think the only thing Noah Brewster's missing is that old, like, David Pollock neck roll.
Yeah, exactly. The old school neck roll.
That's it.
Yeah, but like you said, Brewster coming off a game-high 11 tackles last week. So he's no stranger to being, as we see, he's no stranger to being around the football. That's normally where you will find Noah Brewster when he's on the field.
Bristol Began's on the outside as well, a really talented outside linebacker who plays tight end too. 4th down, they're going to go for it. This time they make the adjustment. Yeah, did he hit you with the Jordan shrug? Devon Kennard-Taylor, do your thing, dude.
Was the first black jersey there to disrupt. And again, that's the best way to stop Cane-Bay, is not let the play start to develop. So a good job of getting in, disrupting it. And for the first time, I believe, Jack, that was the 4th time they went for it on 4th down on this drive alone. So unfortunately for Cane-Bay, will not result in any points.
And how about, not shugging that blocker on the outside? That was Kennard-Taylor coming backside pursuit. Nice shoestring tackle to allow this offense to get back on the prowl.
So they've had a little bit of a rest over there, the offensive unit for West Ashley. Let's see what the Wildcats can do after being stopped on the last possession.
You're starting to see this defense for Cane-Bay. Jalen Smith with a huge push up front, starting to bite back a little bit. Nice play, as you can see. He's joining the backfield with Cordell Holman, a name that we've said a ton already tonight. A really instinctual will linebacker, and you'll see him on the attack with Smith.
And right now, West Ashley really has not had to do anything kind of spectacular. They've been able to just simply line up and run it right at Cane-Bay. So Cane-Bay, as you mentioned, starting to kind of dig in a little bit and have a little bit of pride and making West Ashley work on the offensive end.
I tried not to say in the open. I feel like I could say smash mouth football 100 times today. How about this play? Look at DJ Cobbs, the senior D end. It felt like he almost started offsides with how quickly he got into the backfield.
For a while there, I thought he was the running back. He almost took it right out of Julian's hand, but a good job here with the pressure coming off that side. You're right, he could have tackled either the running back or the quarterback in the right position, but kudos to them. 4 blue helmets at the football.
Looking at 3rd and 11 now. It looked like DJ Cobb's on a jet sweep. 6'1", 216, playing that outside linebacker, defensive end. Stand him up, sit him down. Really special athlete for Russell's Air. There he is yet again. This is on Joshua Frost. And David Dunian's got nowhere to go. Bend don't break might be overused because there's still a lot of football left to be played, but the adjustments of this defense have been night and day versus those first 2 front drives.
Yeah, Joshua Frost, he was ice cold on that play, getting in the backfield, forcing a big 3rd down stop. 4th down coming up. That's back-to-back possessions now for West Ashley in terms of punting the ball away.
It was interesting talking with Coach Russell there. He said last year his JV team went 10-0. They gave up 13 points all season.
That's 85 bearish.
Pretty good.
I'd say.
Right? So all of a sudden you get hit in the mouth in that second half against Ashley Ridge. This is a group that has not failed. So we see a little bit of a high snap and almost blocked. And a huge roll. As where's this ball going to be downed? Trickling at around the 4-yard line, almost blocked. But how about the booming punt of Carter Bowie of West Ashley? Flip the field, why don't you? We're going to take a break with them. Special teams, yeah, we're a fan. West Ashley still leads by 2 scores. This night's company's Friday Night Rivals is presented by Cruz Chevrolet.
Let me get a mic check.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Knights Companies and News 4 are proud to present each participating homeschool a check of $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school just that much better. Over the past 13 seasons, in 15 years, tradition, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $150,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations to West Ashley from Knights Companies and News 4.
And Principal Brant there. So take a look at this punt. Cane Bay probably could have blocked this. We talked about it, Jack. They probably could have just tackled him and got the ball right there, but an amazing kick that time by the kicker, Jacob Adams, getting that off. And ball inside the 5. You couldn't ask for much more.
Great coverage by Ruck Smith and Ethan Renew. And I misspoke. Carter Bowie usually does the punting. He went to Jacob Adams with a huge booming punt, as we're actually going to send it back down to the third member of our crew for Educator Spotlight. Let's go to the sidelines as we've got Trooper Bob in our host school, West Ashley High.
Prince Brant, a lot of things going on here at West Ashley High School. A couple weeks into the school year, what are some of the things that you guys are doing?
There's a ton of great things going on here at West Ashley. Our enrollment for the first time in almost 17 years, we're over 2,000 students. You take a look tonight, even a little bit of rain, everybody's here. The community's coming together. It's just a great time to be a Wildcat.
I see a lot of parents here with their students. Good turnout, even though the rain. Does that surprise you?
Doesn't surprise me at all. We've been building this culture, building this community now for the last several years. The band sounds great. Football team is running hard. There's just so much good going on. Our student section is all showed up. They're all dressed out, and it's again, just a great time to be a Wildcat.
You heard it from the principal. I'm in the principal's office. Wherever he is, that's where I'm at. All right, send it back to you guys.
Yeah, Jack, Dr. Andrew Brant, this is his first year as principal of West Ashley. Ryan Comeback, former principal. Now I think he has a different job with the district. But, yeah, a lot of good things going on here athletically, academically, parent support, and obviously Dr. Brant doing a phenomenal job in his first year at the helm.
Cane Bay taking over inside of their 15 is how about LaRocca? Running with his hair on fire. Good enough for a first down, about a 13-yard pickup. But it really is my favorite maybe segment of these games is when Trooper Bob gets to, show a little bit of love to, the real heroes. As Dr. Andrew Brand is maybe a little bit upset with this LaRocca first down. Brought to you by Purpose Driven Athletics. That was a purposeful run. But, man, so much good going on here west of the Ashley as LaRocca may have found something working as he's going to keep this for about a 4-yard gain.
And we're in Charleston County, and Dr. Anita Huggins, who's the new superintendent, who, by the way, I think today is her birthday. Just a lot of positive, it seems like, in CCSD going on. They had a little rough patch there a couple of years ago, but it finally seems that things are kind of settling down. Dr. Huggins has done a phenomenal job as a superintendent and really kind of just bringing everybody together. They had the big concert for the teachers and the staff over in Daniel Island, and just positive things at Charleston County, and I'm proud to be a parent of a child that attends Charleston County, a Charleston County school district school.
Coach Kiefer's going to be proud of this defensive effort. How about the Mike Backer, Bryson Bowers shooting and finally cutting off that lane as Cam Smalls is wrapped up for about a loss.
Say between Bowers and Brewster, it's going to be tough. And then, of course, you can't forget Kernard Taylor and, of course, up front Bond. It's going to be kind of tough to move the football against this West Ashley football team this season.
LaRocca will keep again. And did you say, how about this? Henry Tetrev meets you in the A-gap. He's joined by big number 41 for West Ashley as well, that outside linebacker Carson Lucky. That looked like it hurt.
Don't forget Henry Tetrev, he was in as well, and, of course, Mr. Bauer. So, yeah, that's 4-on-1's never good, Jack. Great. Once again, we've said it all night long, just the penetration, the disruption, that's what's causing Cane Bay so many problems offensively. They just can't even get the play really started.
Looks like we're going to get a quick timeout on the Cane Bay sideline. And I think when you look at what we've seen defensively from West Ashley in week 0 against Lucy Beckham, held them to just 7 points. Yeah, that's a potent offense, as you can see. A goose egg still for Cane Bay. Looking to get back in this one. They'll get ready to punt it away on the other side of this short break. There's our Sunbelt Rentals scissor lift provided the entire season. So thankful for Sunbelt Rentals and all their help. And so thankful for our guy. Tim, yes, sir, a round of applause. We were worried about the rain. He kept good vibes, kept Mother Nature away from us as we've enjoyed a beautiful Friday night. Yes, sir, standing O to you.
Always the best end zone shots come from Tim Fennell. Oh. That man has been around forever and ever and ever. And, actually, if you're a West Ashley fan, I think Tim's working on a pretty cool project here that some West Ashley people may be interested in a couple of years. So, West Ashley, just some good. Of course, Jack, you and I both, attended Wando. But, as I mentioned, my daughter now at West Ashley. So, I can say over here, it's good on the side of the water. Been over here for 17 years now. So, almost feel like a natural, not a natural, but a true West Side. Yeah,
you know. By the way, if y'all know Everett German, the legend, as well as I do, him saying it's good, that's a huge compliment for what was a very, stout rivalry for a very long time between Wando and West Ashley.
And I think Wando plays West Ashley in football on September 20th, so in 2 weeks. So that'll always be a good time when those two get together.
Another nice spiraling kick. That'll be fielded by Malachi Dickerson, the free safety of Cane Bay, who actually holds an offer from Brevard College. Nice playing special teams is Kevin White. Nice 30-yard punt. Maybe not as good as the previous, but West Ashley will take over in the territory.
Jack, of course, at 11:05, we all tune in to watch Scotty Eisberg and Webb right with the scoreboard show. And I always try to catch highlights from all the other games around the Lowcountry. There's some good football teams. And I look at this West Ashley schedule. They got Berkeley here next week. Then they go to Wando. Then they host James Island. That's another rivalry game. And then they finish with Port Dorchester, Stall, Somerville, and Ashley Ridge. That's brutal.
Dude,
that's a lot of good football teams right there.
If you're listening along, it means you're probably as crazy about low country football as we are. The quarterback play so far this year has been unbelievable. Up the road tonight, Somerville and Berkeley, an old rivalry renewed. Henry Rivers of Berkeley, just a sophomore holding Power 5 offers. Jaden Cummings of Somerville, who's actually already committed to go play at Dartmouth. Really dumb kid going to hang out in the Ivy League for a couple of years. But, man, just been so impressed with the talent across the entire area this season.
Well, I've been impressed with William Washington because the way he keeps running, if he continues to run this way, he'll be getting a Division I or II offer here after the end of the night because he is a load. He runs low to the ground. He runs behind his shoulder pads, and he uses his size to pick up 2 or 3 additional yards. If you notice, Jack, he always falls forward, leaning forward. That's what good running backs do.
Here's a little counter play to the outside. The patience of Washington's, and again, falling forward for about another 6-yard gain.
I mean, it's like watching the old Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
Like the bus that just, as you can see, he does a good job of getting behind, very patient, and then with that massive offensive line. Yeah, if he just kind of falls behind them, they will lead him down the field for sure.
His big, heavy leg pads. Listed at 5'8", 170 pounds is Will Washington. Repping 25 times. Maurice Jones-Drew, bowling ball type stuff is what stood out to me during warm-ups. 3rd and short. Dooney will go back to the ground. This time it's Amari Campbell. The speed on the outside. Thunder, lightning providing a little bit of thump. A broken tackle. Good enough for about an 18-yard pickup as Amari Campbell has come into this ball game and been dynamite.
Yeah, I think Campbell just wanted to show just how fast he was. And you see right here, if he breaks that to the right, there's nobody there. He could still be running into the end zone right now. But instead he said, you know what, I'll just show everyone my speed and outrun everyone to the corner, which is what he did, and more importantly, picked up another West Ashley first down.
And a huge shout-out, not done without the pulling right guard, number 62, Jack Reddy, just a junior, light on his feet. Pulled that hole is Dooney. He's going to keep this one right through the middle of the field. We said it, Houdini magician-esque. David Dooney, we see you. It's a keep for about 26 yards, and David Dooney pushes it to a 3-score lead.
No pun intended, but that was a smart play by Dooney to pull it away from his wide receiver and do the honors, again, no pun intended, himself. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, stay at halftime, and you'll hear why I said that's a smart play and to do the honors himself to take it to the end zone. But we talked about it in the open, a dual-threat quarterback, run it, throw it. Last week, 3 touchdowns, his first one of the night tonight, and another big score for the Wildcats right before the half.
We talked about it, as you can see, Mr. Dooney, fired up as Amari Campbell, but that felt like a big moment for Cane Bay to go to halftime. Hey, let's just keep this thing at 2 scores. West Ashley goes, hey, not so fast.
Doing it.
We said with his big brother up front, twin brother up front, Daniel Dooney, I think mom and dad, like, the grocery bill's got to be huge because obviously Daniel, who we told you, is a 2-time state qualifying weightlifter. 1,000-pound club, right? Bench, deadlift, squat. Daniel Dooney squats 525, deadlifts 515, benches 315, the captain of the pancake platoon. Couldn't have done it without you. We see it, David Dooney. But we're showing love to the big fellas up front.
So how does that work in the backyard? Like, do they have, like, does mom act as the center or the dad acts as the center, and then you got Daniel, like, pulling on pull plays, and then David going through the footwork, throwing to the dad? Like, how does that work in the backyard?
I think with how physical West Ashley's played, I think it's just meet me in the A-gap, and I think they just legitimately play ball at the one who wins.
Well, that makes sense.
Right?
That makes sense. But then again, if you're David, you got to be nice to your brother because he could grade out 100% on a lookout block.
I'm telling you.
So.
I was going to say, quite literally his blind side at home and on the gridiron. And boy, is this West Ashley offense, again, not stagnant after those first 2 drives. Cane Bay's defense amplified, but how about the little pooch kick?
Oh, smart play by... See who that was for Cane Bay. It looks like it was Andrew Wright to come up and not try to do anything special, just feel the football secured and take possession.
Kind of took the breath away from me as I've just become accustomed with the big boot of Jacob Adams. I was like, oh, here comes another touchback. I was like, well, are we going onside kick here with 44 to go in the second quarter? Like, talk about going for the jugular as Cane Bay. They've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket. Do you take a shot here? Do you allow LaRocca to try to throw downfield?
Nah, because you don't want to make matters worse. This was a bad half you talked about, that was huge for West Ashley after scoring with ease on the first two possessions. Kind of stalled out a little bit on those next two possessions, but to be able to get that score and to get the ball to start the second half was huge for West Ashley.
Seabrook nowhere to go is Young Gerard, the strong safety. West Ashley's played 8 in the box all night. Young Gerard, the senior safety, 5'11", 175 pounds, nice concealed edge on the outside.
And it's almost West Ashley saying, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us through the air. We'll take our chances playing one-on-one on the outside with a high safety. And like you said, we'll put 8 in the box and stop the run.
How about that tackle? Bristol begins on with, like, it felt like a Superman suplex on the Rocco, who opts to keep it. The clock will dwindle down to under 30 seconds on the half.
And I think if you're Russell Zaire, you don't want to put it in the air. You just hope that you can pop a big run. If not, you just go to the locker room, you regroup. And if I'm Russell Zaire, I say, hey, last week we led at the half. We gave up 30 points in the second half. Still plenty of football left to be played.
Roca running a deep go on the outside. Won't find him as it was great coverage on the outside. That was Lavelle minus, excuse me. No, it wasn't. Caden McKelvey from the strong safety flying over. You might hear me check myself. I haven't seen a pass go past 10 yards all night. Roca throws a good ball.
And had Davion Kennard-Taylor in his face coming up the middle, so he saw the big hit coming, which he did receive, and still to be able to get air under it and air it out. Very good, a nice attempt that time by Cane Bay, just could not connect. And as you mentioned, great coverage in the secondary by McKelvey.
Jalen Capers in coverage as well as fourth down. Roca, maybe a little heave, a little Hail Mary. He's going to air it out downfield, and he's got a man. Pelzer, Quayshawn Pelzer, tripped up at around the 12-yard lines as the clock dwindles down. He throws into triple coverage, but hey, a high note for the Cobras.
And look at the hit he takes as he throws the football. And what would have been a Hail Mary, the catch.
Oof.
But first half comes to an end.
If he stays on his feet, we got some fireworks. Sure, purpose-driven first down, but is it something to build on for Cane Bay? West Ashley received the ball to start the second half, but don't go anywhere. Our Climate Makers halftime report is just on the other side of this interview with our third man and crew, Mr. Trooper Bob. He's with the head coach, Donnie Kiefer of West Ashley, after a dominant 3-score lead.
Coach, thanks for taking time with us. 21 points, but your defense is able to keep them from scoring any points. How proud are you of your defense?
Well, that's the big thing. I mean, if they can't score, they can't win. So, I mean, it's great to have a good offense, but if you play good defense, I'll take that any day.
What would you like to see more in the second half?
Just more sustained drives. You know, we hit 2 or 3 quick sustained drives, and then or 2, and then we bogged down a little bit and had to punt 2 or 3 times. So I'd like to be able to just run some time off the clock and play a little bit of control football.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck in the second half. Thank you very much. Hey, you guys have it. We've had a drizzle falling over since the game started, but doesn't look like it's affecting the teams or having them change any plays up. Everyone's playing good football here. 21-0 here in West Ashley.
Trooper Bob getting a great interview with Donnie Kiefer, who's entering his 5th season at West Ashley, the Lenore-Rhine graduate, a 3-score lead. Next company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. All Wildcats all the time so far this Friday night.
Welcome to the Climate Makers Halftime Report, where your comfort is our business.
Each week, the Thumbs Up guys are proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes are first over at Cane Bay. It's Miss Eliana Robertson, the stud volleyball player, the libero, with a 5.079 GPA. She's been on varsity since her freshman season. She's been a captain this last season and the upcoming one as well. She won the Cane Bay Cobra Award. And in the community, Ms. Robertson was a volunteer for the PAPA ministry, helped them hand out food and clothing donations, as well as spreading the word of God, helping those who need it, involved in Freedom Church. Congratulations to Miss Eliana Robertson. And for the home West Ashley Wildcats, it might be a familiar name. Yeah, that's right. It's QB1, Mr. David Dunian, taking care of it on the gridiron. How about in the classroom as well? A 5.028 GPA. He was an all-region honorable mention quarterback selection just a season ago. And in the community was a member of the Hands of Christ unit that volunteered close to over 100 hours of volunteer work over the last 3 months. Congratulations to not only David Duty and Miss Eliana Robertson, as well this week's Thumbs Up Guys Scholar Athletes.
Unbelievable to think, 15 years now of high school football, and all along we have been honoring our scholar athletes, the Thumbs Up guys. Jeff and Brandon doing it again this year, helping us out with this. And guys, another year, here we are. How much fun is this for you guys?
Oh, man, we're so glad football's back. I think everybody, after the long summer, is so ready for football. We're so ready to see not only the great athletes on the field, but also the students, the student athletes that we get applying for the scholarship are absolutely stellar.
Jeff, you're Georgia Bulldogs #1 in the country to start the season.
Hopefully we stay there, but Brandon's right. You know, we got a little taste of some competition this summer with the Olympics, and that's just going to roll right into fall with football and other sports, and Brandon's right. We couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, now we've done it for a couple times, giving out that check. It's kind of the special moment that it all culminates.
Yeah, we're so excited again this year to be able to give away $5,000 to one student athlete at the end of this football season. You know, but it's all athletes, not just football. We know there's cross, there's tennis, there's soccer, you know, all the different sports out there. And the GPAs, what were they last year? 4.5, 5.0. I mean, the numbers you and I never even seen before in our grades.
Exactly. That's the Thumbs Up guys. They are the presenting sponsors of our Scholar Athlete each year, right here on Friday Night Rivals.
We'll be right back with more from the Climate Makers Halftime Report. Welcome to the Climate Makers Halftime Report, where your comfort is our business.
Hey, fans, remember, it's our favorite segment every week. We're giving you the opportunity of a lifetime to vote for tonight's Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Go log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either of tonight's cheer squads. Cast a vote for the Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Will reveal those results later on in the fourth quarter. First, it's the road cheer squad, the Cane Bay Cobras.
We'll be right back with more from the Climate Makers Halftime Report.
As the Climate Makers Halftime Report rolls on, it's tonight's company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. A touchdown at the 44-second mark. A scramble of David Dunian extends that West Ashley lead to 21. And it's been domination up front all night long.
Yeah, it was taking advantage of the opportunities. 2 short fields early on. Great job by the defense from West Ashley. Then led to, like we said, the 2 quick touchdowns and then the one right there before the half. So this Southeastern Spine Institute halftime stats, well, 141 total yards for the Wildcats, 127. So on paper, it should be a closer game. But give credit where credit is due. West Ashley in the trenches. They have been elite, skill players, running backs. Everything has worked well for the Wildcats thus far.
Field possession's been everything. So a huge shout out to Jacob Adams in the kicking and punting game for West Ashley for flipping that field. That's really why those yards aren't as long. As we heard Donnie Keefe had mentioned, extending drives for West Ashley. Those stats brought to you by Southeastern Spine Institute, helping hurt people of all ages get back to their active lives. As we get ready to roll this thing into the second half, we remind everybody at home that tonight's trophy and Scholar Athlete plaques at the end of the season are actually all provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. We see some of those special team players rolling out of the halftime spot. All-American Awards. We got to give some of those guys to the special teams dudes. We've seen some crazy big legs, as you had mentioned, across the entire low country, alongside quarterback play as well.
Yeah, and we all know there's three facets to any good football team. That's offense, defense, and special teams. And we've seen some games over our 15 years of doing Friday Night Rivals that special teams has absolutely cost some teams some games. So, yeah, great job, special teams tonight.
The 15th season of Friday Night Rivals in the Low Country. It's insane. You think back to some of the guys that did it before us, Darren Goldwater. To be able to be a part of some of these like insane student athletes' lives and helping tell their stories, it's been such a blessing as we get ready for the second half. See some players rolling out. We come back out. We'll have Russell Zare and Kane Bay talking with our third member of our crew, Trooper Bob, on the other side of this Climate Makers halftime report.
We'll be right back with more from the Climate Makers Halftime Report.
The Climate Makers halftime report comes to a conclusion. If you're just joining us, West Ashley with a commanding 21-0 lead, rushing touchdowns on the legs of David Dunian, Will Washington, and Zamari Campbell. A great defensive effort up front from Devon Kennard Taylor, Henry Tetrov and company. What do you need to see from Russell Zare's group as we get ready to rock and roll?
Before we get to me, why don't we throw it down to Trooper Bob? I think he's with Cane Bay coach Russell Zare.
Right here, down on the field, Coach, halftime, what was the message to your team? There's still a lot of football to be played.
It's a four-quarter game. Simple as that. They jumped on us early, and we didn't play Cane Bay football in the first half, and West Ashley had a lot to do with that. I mean, they jumped on us early, hit us in the mouth, and we didn't respond well. So second half, we'll see if we got any guts.
We've had a drizzle falling the whole game right through halftime. It seems like it's picking up. Is this going to make you change play calling any different?
If we don't find a way to move the football and tackle people, it don't matter what it's doing out here. We're going to get our butts kicked.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck in the second half. There you heard it from the coach. We got a lot more football left here in West Ashley. Send it back to you guys.
Well, not that we don't love your opinion, but to have Russell Zaire just look as calm, cool, and collected as ever has got to instill a whole lot of confidence in Cane Bay faithful.
Well, the first thing he's got to do is they got to force a 3 and out. We heard West Ashley coach Kiefer say before going into the locker room, wants to kind of shorten this game, go on a long sustained drive and kind of put this game away because we know it'd be very difficult to overcome a 4-possession game. So from that standpoint, he's got to get the defense to force a 3 and out. And then offensively, he's just going to have to throw the ball. He can't allow to go on those typical Cane Bay football, which is going on those long extended drives. So he's got to have to hit some big plays to give himself a chance. But again, when you have the guys in the trenches like West Ashley does, it's going to be very difficult for Cane Bay.
We saw a huge completion to Quayshawn Pelzer at the end of the half. Do you expect LaRocca to maybe air it out a little bit more in the second half?
He really has no – at this point, you have nothing to lose. So, yeah, you want to air it out. Not what you would like to do, and we talked about it early on in the first half, is they don't want to play from behind. They want to be ahead so that way they can really play Cane Bay football. But still a second half. And so now Cane Bay hopes to reverse what happened to them last week where they got dominated in the second half. They want to hopefully dominate the Wildcats in this half.
Well, you heard Trooper Bob, the rain's starting to pick up here out at West Ashley High. Maybe that limits the aerial attack of Cane Bay. But you mentioned that Cruz Chevrolet, like keys to the game. Stick to the script, find the identity. Cane Bay, who went 6-5 last season, 2-2 in region. It's all about finding your rhythm when you get to conference play. Do you see maybe them instituting a little bit more LaRocca in the air? Coach Air did say he felt like he had more of a passing prowess than maybe Mark Stewart from years past.
Yeah, I mean, and for the past 15 years, we all know when you go against Cane Bay, you got to be disciplined, you got to stay in your gaps, and, obviously stop the run. So at this point, this is kind of like organized preseason. Yeah. The region is what really matters. So right now, you really can try just about anything and see what sticks. That last throw was very impressive, however, by LaRocca.
Kickoff brought to you by Knights Companies. Going to be received by Malachi Dickerson. Met by a flurry of black helmets. The rain's starting to come down heavier and heavier. Knights Companies, told you, proud sponsor, title rights sponsor of all of our Friday Night Rivals games. You saw the big fellow Malachi Dickerson alongside, I believe it was Cam Smalls in coverage too. What's a stop here look like? We saw him dial up a little bit of pressure at the end of the second half. West Ashley started burning while running right at that blitz. Who do you need to see defensively from Cane Bay here in the second half?
Really everybody. I don't think one guy is going to be able to kind of stop this massive offensive line and these backs of West Ashley. So it's definitely going to have to be a team effort on the defensive end to slow down what has been a very impressive West Ashley offense thus far.
Didn't you love Coach Ayer's answer, by the way? He's like, it doesn't matter if there's a monsoon out here. Right. We got to tackle and pick up yards, or it don't matter.
And neither team, obviously, I should say both teams have done a great job of protecting the football thus far. Let's see if the rain may indeed force a turnover. You see almost a turnover there on that handoff.
Tackle by Josiah Coleman in the secondary is Will Washington picking right up where he left off. 12-yard pickup for first down.
Yeah, that's the one thing you don't want is to allow 5, 6, 7 yards on every first down play. And, again, good job of him not losing his focus, being able to secure the football first and then pick up the big positive yardage.
That first down here in the third quarter brought to you by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. This Dunion's going to go back to the ground, but it looks like it's going to be a false start on that left side of the scrimmage before the snap.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
And if you're an offensive line coach, this is where you want to challenge your guys to, hey, let's instill our will on the opponent. We're not going to do anything fancy, hat on hat. Block your guy. We're going to run this ball down their throat, take hopefully 5 or 6 minutes off this clock, and end it with points.
Washington again running right behind his big center, Matt Atkinson. 6'4", 310. You usually see that size at tackle, but because of Atkinson's feet, look at that push up front.
Good job, the pull guy kicking out on that defensive end. Nice tackle made by Joshua Frost.
West Ashley back out of shotgun. See on the outside, we've seen a lot of Jude Claiborne at that tight end spot, a guy that's picking up some collegiate interest, whether it be UT Chattanooga or Charleston Southern, is this time they're going to go to the air. A little play action as Dunian finds his receiver on the outside. Really nice play by Ethan Renew.
Yeah, that's his top target, Ethan Renew. Junior really kind of came into his own last year, the Somerville game here, the shootout. It seemed like with him and Yannick Smith, who's now at East Carolina and actually playing at East Carolina. Great game here last year, back and forth affair.
And a game that we kind of expected a lopsided scoreboard like the one we've seen tonight. It was Yannick Smith with 5 catches, 4 tutties, 284 yards. Yeah, Coach Kiefer dialed up what was 2 pick sixes in the first half and made it a really competitive game, the closest game that Somerville played until they got to the lower state championship.
You have to love the tough running that time on display by Will Washington, literally running through tackles. What you don't want to do against a guy like Washington is tackle him high. You got to grab the legs. As you see here, he's just going to bounce off of you. 2, 3, 4 white jerseys. Finally fell down. There's no arm tackling Mr. Washington.
Claiborne on the outside, but Bryson, we've seen it, Mike Backer concealing on that edge. Once he got to the secondary there, it's really difficult for any secondary to try to tackle Will Washington. Back to the ground, another 11-yard pickup. This is clinical. I feel like we're about to sound like John Madden in an old-school video game. I don't know how many cliches I can come up with, but Will Washington has been that dude all night long.
As you see, taps out. He needs a little breather here, but, yeah, we know Mr. Sparky can fix it. What Mr. Sparky can't fix is this Cane Bay defense trying to stop Will Washington. Every play has been at a minimum 4 to 5 yards every time that they have touched the ball here in this second half. A very impressive opening drive thus far for West Ashley.
Thunder, lightning. They go to Zamari Campbell on the outside. They're not even disguising it right now. Washington through the middle of the field, and Zamari Campbell flexing with his speed on the outside.
And you keep them honest with the pass to Ethan Renew, which kind of was able to kind of bring it in. But otherwise, it's been all ground and pound. Again, great blocking by the offensive line, but a good job of the running backs not allowing one guy to break them down. They're literally keeping those legs chopping, and that's why they're having so much success here as they're now in the Rapid Repairs red zone.
Your home needs repairs, call Rapid Repairs. If you want to learn how to run the football, call Donnie Kiefer and the Wildcats. David Dunian, does he have his second touchdown of the night? Yes, he does. Do the do. Mountain Dew, call big number 4. Picked up and flown in the air by Matt Atkinson and West Ashley, their 4th rushing touchdown of the night.
The man's got a 5.2 GPA. Clearly he's smart. He knows what he's doing. Probably a smart decision to run behind those big guys, the offensive lineman up front led by Hampton O'Donnell, Daniel Dunian, his brother, Matt Atkinson, Jack Reddy, and Jimmy Jones. Nothing fancy but smash mouth in your face. Here we come football. Touchdown Wildcats.
PAT slides in. It looks like it was almost missed right, but man, Mr. Perfect has been just that. Jacob Adams' field goal is good to go up 28. The second rushing touchdown of David Dunian. The effort, break a tackle. West Ashley leads by 4 scores. Whole lot to celebrate here at the home of the West Ashley Wildcats. A 28-0 lead. And the thumbs up, guys. Yeah, let's go. The fans are getting involved. Miller, Dawson, Siegel, and Ward fighting for you. And these fans, they're fighting for some more points.
Wildcats. Yeah, right now they have a lot to be 2 thumbs up about as their football team up 28-0 so far. A dominating performance by the Wildcats offensively, defensively, special teams, everything working for West Ashley tonight.
The thumbs up guys, your personal injury attorneys at Miller, Dawson, Siegel, and Ward-winning cases, and your trust. I trust in those fans that have still hung around as the rain now coming down. This game feels like it's gotten out of hand. No such thing as moral victories, but Russell's there, who, again, been at the helm for the last 15 seasons, 6-5 a year ago, a playoff appearance in a really difficult region. You know his team is not going to go away without a fight.
He just kicked that out of the end zone?
Dude.
Wow.
That's why the pooch kick at the end of the half had me almost scared like something happened. This kid's got a cannon, Cotton.
Jacob Adams, safe to say, I'm assuming that maybe he's on the soccer team as well because he has a very lively leg. And talk about a weapon when you know that you don't really have to worry about a kickoff return, or if you're a kick team, obviously is for West Ashley, that he's going to, he hit that one out of the park. Maybe he's a baseball player.
I was going to say, I saw dance moves like Mick Jagger. I didn't know if it was golf or baseball, but right now Jacob Adams can do no wrong as finally Cane Bay. Felt like the first explosive play from scrimmage tonight as Dawson Seabrook, our player to watch, runs for about 12.
And when Cane Bay has had success offensively, it's been on the edges. Not a lot of luck in terms of running between the tackles, but whenever they've been able to get those backs out, that's when they seem to have success. So let's see if Cane Bay continues to expose at least the perimeter of the defense for West Ashley.
Well, a little play action from LaRocca, but a better play. J.J. Swat-Est from Bristol Beganzon, the 6'4", 200-pound defensive end. Really impressive athlete, swats it out of the air.
You got to think, if he's charging at you and he throws his hands up here, that's what they teach you. If you can't get all the way to him, stop, jump, make him throw over you. Good defensive play by the Wildcats.
LaRocca will pitch to the outside. This time it's Cam Smalls. A whole lot of Wildcats as it's Bristol yet again out of the backfield on a backside pursuit to limit Smalls to about a 2-yard gain.
Nice tackle by Charlie Platt, one of the many Wildcats, to meet Mr. Smalls at the football. And just the pursuit, every single play, you see 4 and 5 hats pursuing the football. They never give up on the play. You have to be excited if you're the defensive coordinator for West Ashley.
3rd and long as LaRocca will move the pocket. It's a nice little ball on the outside. There's Pelzer yet again. That's good enough for Mr. Sparky's first down. I'm telling you, when they move that pocket and allow LaRocca to sling it, Pelzer's been his dude.
Yeah, Pelzer, that's now 2 catches for him. And you're right, he can't just drop straight back. He's sitting that pressure pass rush from West Ashley, too intense for him. So a good job rolling to his left. And that's a tough throw to throw across your body, but he was able to deliver it on time.
Move it again. This time he finds his wideout, Griffin Byers, the senior slot receiver, for a pickup about 6. And again, we saw on those just straight-up drop-back coverages where Devon Kennard-Taylor was just feasting, right? It was like shooting skid. He just had a straight shot at the quarterback. But they may have found something with this maybe a little bit smaller offensive front and allow LaRocca to move the pocket.
Nice tackle by Charlie Platt, able to grab the legs and not allow any yards after the catch.
Johnson in the backfield. LaRocca will keep. Oh, makes a man miss. How about a couple juke moves? NCAA 25-esque. He hits him with the juke hezzy.
Is that R1, R2?
I think it is. L1 to the left side, right?
It's been a while since I played video games, but at least when I did, that was the controller R1 and R2. But you're right, a nice run by LaRocca there to make a couple of Wildcats miss. And, of course, coming up to clean up the mess from his linebacker position was Kennard-Taylor.
Kennard-Taylor's motor feels next level.
Yeah, he's just different. Him and Brewster, those two have really jumped off of the page for me tonight in terms of always being around the football.
This young man, too, Bristol Beganzon, who's taken a couple collegiate visits in the state of South Carolina with a nice tackle after a 3-yard pickup from Smalls.
And you can tell these Wildcat guys, they've done a nice job in the weight room as well. A lot of height in terms of, you talk about 6'4" defensive end and then the bulk right there in the middle. Nice job by the Wildcats getting after it during the offseason.
Move the pocket again. LaRocca looking for his man. Cross shoulder. Finds Quayshawn Pelzer for another first down.
And he does a nice job of getting in the middle of that kind of zone and just sitting and playing pitch and catch. Just hit the guy on the spot. Nice job. And all of a sudden, a very promising drive for Cane Bay. And a lot of it is coming through the air, which is what we talked about at the half, is what they would have to do if they wanted to get back in this game.
They have found something as the chemistry between Pelzer and LaRocca has been on point this drive. The B-back will be Tyler Myers as Cane Bay has entered the Rapid Repairs red zone for the first time tonight. Myers plunges forward for 3.
And Myers appears to be the version of Washington for West Ashley, a much bigger back. Doesn't have blazing speed, but a big physical running back. That's what you need in these situations, especially at this level of high school football here in South Carolina.
Take a look over the Cane Bay sideline, Austin Seabrook. Seabrook, who a year ago ran for about 50 yards per game, had 3 touchdowns last year, which was second on the team. But LaRocca's going to drop back to pass. He finds his man Byers. Appears he's got enough for a first down, as it looks like Cane Bay and that triple option may have found something in the air.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very impressed with LaRocca throwing the football here on this drive. Nice, simple 3-step drop and able to put his foot down, plant it, and deliver it to his wide receiver. So for the first time tonight, the Cobras in the red zone.
And the first time tonight, that's the first play that they haven't run from under center, shotgun, as they go back to the triple option. Mr. Sparky, touchdown, a little misdirection. West Ashley, so disciplined. It fooled me upstairs, but not Noah Brewster, who met him for a nice tackle.
Brewster, who else is on the bottom of that pile for West Ashley. Little misdirection here. You saw they tackled the first guy through.
Began's on as well. Credit for a half tackle. Back under center. LaRocca will keep. Falls forward after another huge tackle on the outside. This time, number 41, Carson Lucky, the senior outside linebacker, will force a 3rd and short.
Just doing a great job of being disciplined, not allowing anything to get around you, turning everything back to the middle. Carson Lucky was not lucky on that play. He knew the assignment, and he executed it.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 3. Tyler Myers in the backfield to be back. LaRocca's going to keep play action, fall forward. And Cane Bay on the board, a Trident Technical College touchdown, and a little momentum for the Road Dogs.
That was a little over 2 minutes, maybe about 3 minutes on that drive. A nice drive by the Cobras, able to execute through the air as well on the ground. LaRocca able to finish it off, and the Cobras finally on the scoreboard tonight.
First balanced drive, it felt like, from Cane Bay, is all of a sudden moving the pocket, and LaRocca, the prowess to hit his man in the numbers. He falls in for the first touchdown of the night as this PAT is blocked. That kind of night, all 3 phases for West Ashley.
It looks like Jalen Capers, the guy to get in there to block the PAT.
What was the LaRocca touchdown, but a blocked PAT keeps the score at 28-6. Don't go anywhere. It's Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals driven It's Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet, the home squad with a commanding 28-6 lead. We go to our Sunbelt Rentals scissor lift, and look at our guy, Tim Fennell.
I mean, you got to keep it dry up there. You know, and he does it all. He's obviously an outstanding camera guy, and he makes sure that the Sunbelt Rental scissor lift is nice, clean, and dry.
They're providing it all year. There's not a better guy to leave your equipment with. Mr. Tim Fennell, making sure he's leaving it better than he found it. Appreciative of him. Appreciative of Sunbelt Rentals. And Cane Bay, appreciative of a really balanced drive on the arm of Colby LaRocca.
Offensively, by far the best drive for Cane Bay tonight. Able to execute, as you mentioned, Jack, through the air. Also running the football, balance attack. And so now, let's see if the defense can get the ball back to the offense. But that's a tall task, as this West Ashley offense has absolutely been a machine tonight.
That's Aiden Thorne. You see a long kick. Picked up by Renew. He'll take off, and great coverage by Cane Bay as West Ashley will pick up around the 18.
Actually, check that. It looks like Tyler Burnett on that return.
These dark jerseys have been giving me fits tonight. Hey, man, hey, hand up. That's the third time that I've mis-ID'd a number. That's on me, boys.
Well, the only reason is Ethan Renew is like 6'3",
Yeah,
6'4". So that was kind of like, I'm like, either Ethan has shrunk or something, maybe a switch of jersey there. But a nice return by Tyler Burnett. Now the Wildcats will take over.
Cane Bay looking for a stop, building momentum. It was, to your credit, it was Jalen Capers on that blocked PAT that'll keep the lead at 22 for West Ashley. They're in a little bit of a pistol formation as they option in Noah Brewster as the lead blocker. And how about that hit? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Cordell Holman flying up from that next level, laying the boom.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night's company hit there by Mr. Cane Bay himself, Cordell Holman. I mean, you talk about meeting at the football. Wow. That's how you fill a gap.
Cordell Holman, your knight in shining armor, if you
will. There you go. We're getting them all in tonight.
I was going to say, a little bit of a lead. We didn't get as many puns as we wanted to in weeks here. We're in prime form. A little eye candy in the backfield doesn't fool anybody. Cordell Holman, again, it believes he was joined by Joshua Frost. Another big-time defensive stop. This one looks like another loss of about a yard.
Yeah, and all of a sudden now a little momentum has shifted to Cane Bay defensively. It's a huge third down coming up here for the Cobras as they're now starting to get into the backfield and cause a little bit of disruption from this West Ashley offense.
And we talked about this a million times. Despite the scoreboard, this is when you learn a lot about your squad. Like who's going to cave in, who's going to show up and continue to play until the last whistle.
Play all the way until the final horn. They knew they gave up the two quick scores. They kind of settled down, gave up that one right before the half, and then obviously one to start the second half. But here's when you have to kind of bow your neck and keep fighting because anything can happen.
Move the pocket, great pressure as there's Holman again. That was the Cordell Holman drive. Recording all three tackles as they're going to force a 4 and out. Great work from the junior outside backer.
And how about the pressure being applied up the middle coming from Tyjan Eaton, the big guy, 5'11", 295 pounds, moving like a cat, able to force Dunian out of the pocket. And, yeah, we talked about getting the 3 and out, and that's exactly what Cane Bay did on that possession.
Tajay Eaton, who we haven't gotten to say his name, and doing my homework this week, he was really exciting. The Vince Wilfork of this Cane Bay defensive front, they've coined him as we get a low snap. Really athletic play yet again from Jacob Adams. And take a look at his punt. Going to be down at the 27-yard line, but based off that snap, that quite literally rolled to him. What an athletic play from Adams.
Man, I'm starting to wonder if there's a fight in the spring between the baseball coach and the soccer coach to get Adams services because he fielded that like his shortstop, and then he kicked it like a goalkeeper. This guy's having a good night tonight on Friday Night Rivals.
A relatively quiet night from our officiating crew as we were waiting an announcement from head referee Daryl Deneau.
Don't you know, Deneau?
Oh, yeah. We got the dad jokes rolling, folks. We're locked and loaded.
Or we could go, if you don't know, now you know. Take your pick. Take it. Here all night, folks. 3 shows. Just leave the tip at the door.
Legal formation, kicking team, 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
And definitely, if you're Kane Bay, you want him to re-kick that because that was a bomb kicked by Adams.
Especially with Austin Seabrook, our player to watch of the night. Any opportunity to get him the ball in open spaces, we'll get another chance to check out Jacob Adams. You know, a lot of people, by the way, they might tell you to quit your day job. I say quit. Burn the ships. Go chase it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if there's a comedy cellar downtown, but I'll come watch.
Improv. Just show up and start telling dad jokes.
Your awesome daughter who's in the student section tonight, I'm sure she thinks you're as funny as me. As we get another yellow hanky, and we get another bomb from Adams. Well, again, just end over top. This ball's going to be down at the 32. Let's just keep watching Jacob Adams punt.
Exactly. But now, if you're Russell Zier, you may tell him, hey, kind of come up and catch that to save us 15 or 20 yards of field position. But as you mentioned, another penalty flag.
Illegal formation, kicking team, 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
I think we may have heard Donnie Kiefer over that Nat Mike, upset with his guys. 22-point lead not suffice for the head ball coach of West Ashley.
And if you're Coach Kiefer in this situation, what you want to do is you don't want your guys to get sloppy. You don't want them to play the scoreboard. Yeah, you're up by 22, but I'm sure he wants them to play like it's a one-possession game or even his team is trailing. So instead of allowing your guard down and allowing you to come back to the competition, he wants to see them extend this lead and still play sharp, focused football that we saw from them in the first half.
Another low snap and another booming punt from Adams. This time it's going to be fielded by Seabrook. Can he get away from a defender? He will not. This time it appears to have been Ethan Renew in coverage. 3-on-3 crime.
Open field tackle by Renew. Top wide receiver for the Wildcats, able to show what he can do on special teams as well. But talk about the difference, Jack. The 2 penalties, instead of starting the ball at 1st and 10 from their own 32, now they're starting 1st and 10 from the West Ashley 39.
A 34-yard difference for an offense that may have just figured it out, firing all cylinders on their last drive. They'll go back to the ground. Smalls will be tackled for about a loss of 3.
Connor Hoop there on the run for the Cobras. I believe that's the first time we've said his name tonight.
Karan Hoop, just a sophomore. He actually is a dual-threat quarterback, too. They play him in that A-back spot as well.
He had a 48-yard touchdown run last week in the loss to Ashley Ridge. So another guy that has burners.
They go back to Hoop. This time good enough for the first down. Mr. Sparky fired up with Karan Hoop, and all of a sudden, take away the touchdown before the half, and Kane Bay knocking on the door, not willing to go to bed quite yet.
Not yet. Kennard Taylor again on the stop. Just a pitch out. And again, they always have success when they run around that right side. That seems to be the sweet spot. So they've seen something on tape that has allowed them to believe that, hey, our best chance is coming around that right edge.
We've seen now 5 running backs for Kane Bay. Cam Smalls, Tyler Meyer, Austin Seabrook, Preston Johnson, and Karan Hoop. Been really impressed with their vision, as this time LaRoe going to move the pocket. He's looking for a man downfield. He had Austin Seabrook. He misses his man. It's picked off by Caden McKelvey. He's got space in front of him before he's wrapped up and tackled by the big lineman, Troy Stevens. Had Seabrook out in the flats, but just missed him.
He actually had 2 guys open because he had someone down the field, as you're going to see here. He's going to look, and we can't see, but he had somebody running that seam route, as you see at the top of the screen. He could have gotten it over that secondary. Elected to go to Seabrook, and a good job defensively by the Wildcats, being in the right place at the right time as McKelvey comes up with the pick.
It was Karan Hoop up the field running a go route. He had Seabrook on the underneath. As we wait a penalty foul, it looks like the yellow hanky came out on the return.
And that's when you got to kind of put right on him. Looked like he put a little bit of air under that pass.
Personal foul, blindside block, return team, half the distance, first down.
So that what would have been a big interception return, somewhat negated. Did you see where
I didn't see it either. I'm going back and looking at it now. LaRocca, who was so efficient on that last drive, to your point, an inexperienced quarterback, a backup just a year ago. That'll be obviously, I think, moving forward, King Bay has found kind of an extra page in the playbook. Well, that'll be a really nice learning opportunity moving forward. Or to your point, just put it right on the numbers.
Yeah, well, we've seen LaRocca with his arm. We saw at the end of the first half, so he easily could have made that throw over the top. But as you mentioned, elected to go to the underneath guy instead.
Looks like another penalty coming in. That may be the spot. That left tackle side there's no room for Will Washington to go. Those holes that were wide open in that first quarter. Great response from the Cane Bay D-line.
Just like the shiftiness of Washington, a bigger back.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 yards, remains first down.
It's I seem like I've heard those words a lot lately over the last 7 days. Last Saturday, I heard a lot of that when it seemed like Clemson was getting lined up correctly. That's the third time in the last 7 plays that, unfortunately for West Ashley, a legal formation called against the Wildcats.
4 penalties from the last 6 plays from scrimmage, 3 of which illegal formation, 2 of them on those punt plays. Maybe they'll just go back and do film study on that Clemson game then.
There you go. We'll see. But the good thing about it, those are fixable mistakes.
Yeah.
Just little mental laps there. They'll get that corrected just to make sure, am I on, am I off? And they'll have that ready for the rest of the season.
This time Dunion's going to keep over the right side, and Cane Bay doing a much better job. Great tackle on the outside. There's the safety, Malachi Dickerson, who holds an offer from Brevard College, coming up from the secondary, making a nice tackle.
And Dunion, as we all know, able to run the football. Nice job of faking to Washington. Obviously, he commands so much attention because of his ability to run the football. As it appears, Jack, that'll be our final play of the third quarter.
Difference between play clock and game clock will not suffice. 5 seconds will dwindle down, and West Ashley will throw the 4s up. The home of the Wildcats, a whole lot to cheer for as the rain comes down harder and the cheers get a little bit louder. 28-6. It's Night Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. 12 minutes to go. Don't go nowhere. Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, rolls on a 3-score lead for the home site West Ashley Wildcats. But here are the results that everyone's excited for. It's the Delta Force All-Star Cheer of the game, sponsored by Delta Force Athletics, home of, you guessed it, the Delta Force All-Stars, proudly cheering on the Low Country's high school sports. Our results for all those that went and voted, you guessed it, the Road Squad, Cane Bay Cobras, with a commanding 93-7 win.
That's tough.
Kind of indicative, maybe mirrored of the scoreboard tonight?
I think for 50, and, for the past 15 years, if I could go back and do the research, it always seems like the road team always seems to win the Delta Force All-Star Cheer of the game.
Hey, to no fault of their own, the home fans, they're here.
They're
They're
here.
enjoying the elements. They don't have to listen to us. Kudos to them.
Right. Smart of them. Smart of them. But congratulations to Cane Bay on winning the competition tonight.
Delta Force All-Stars cheer of the night. Proudly cheering on the Low Country's high school sports, just like Everett and I. Next time I'm bringing my pom-poms and we'll be ready to rumble.
And those cheerleaders, actually, a couple of my daughter's friends are cheerleaders. And those girls, they work hard.
Man.
Like hours and hours, whether it's tumbling or, practicing. So kudos to them because they work just as hard as football team. And the same to the marching band. That's what makes high school football on Friday nights so special.
Cheering hard, playing hard, running hard is Will Washington for a 3-yard pickup. As you can see, Wes Ashley and Donnie Kiefer's offense, all of a sudden, they're going to start milking that clock and try to get to what would be their second win of the 24 season.
Talked about Wes Ashley next week. Another big game here as they host the Berkeley Stags.
Berkeley, who we mentioned a little bit earlier tonight, taking on Somerville High School. Berkeley's got a sophomore quarterback in Henry Rivers, who we saw last year, that is putting the state really on storm.
Yes.
Talk about dual threat. There might not be anyone better except for the kid right down the road, Jacob Davis at Stratford. State of South Carolina, the Low Country, we've been spoiled this year.
Loaded with some solid QBs, and of course, Cane Bay doesn't get any easier for them next week. They'll be back home, but they'll welcome the James Island Trojans up there to Cobra Stadium.
See that third down stop. Cane Bay able to get the defense off the field, and another ground ball punt, and gets it off yet again. Jacob Adams has been spectacular in the special teams game. That felt like the third punt tonight that was without question going to be blocked.
And the fact that he's so composed back there, he doesn't get rattled. You see a lot of times, punters, they'll kind of freak out. He's just so cool, calm, and collected back there.
He is. Someone's going to be really lucky when they get Jacob Adams to come punt for them at the collegiate level. And speaking of collegiate, it's Oceanside Collegiate next week down at Johnson Haygood, playing host to Ashley Ridge. Portergout at BE. That's a big-time Skeeza-Paleesa private school rivalry, and capped off with Myrtle Beach back with our Cobras on September 27th. All games start at 7:30 p.m. If you're not watching on my TV, Charleston, you can watch on YouTube as well.
And apparently Ashley Ridge has a very explosive offensive unit that put up close to 500 yards. I believe it was last week in that win against, Cane Bay. So looking forward to seeing that next week down from the Citadel.
Oceanside, the reigning 2A state champions, they get the bump up to the 3A level, a shuffling of the deck as well at the coaching position. A whole lot of talking points next week. But we're not done yet. It looks like we've got a little bit of a quarterback change as we see Karan Hoop at quarterback, and he pitches it to Seabrook. A nice 12-yard pickup is, hey, we saw LaRocca starting to rock and roll. We told you about Karan Hoop, the just young sophomore who's a dual threat guy as well, getting a little bit of run here in the fourth.
Yeah, good to see. Like you talked about it, running back, quarterback, just kind of mixing up a solid run there by Seabrook and a nice tackle made by Charlie Platt there on the back end. But, yeah, and I got to tell you, LaRocca, he's on a couple of those throws tonight, he was absolutely hammered. So he's a tough kid. Hopefully this is just a situation where they want to give Wes Ashley a different look.
Cam Smalls turns nothing into something. Does that look like it was going to be a loss of about 3, turns into a gain of about 2? But you're right. I mean, when he dropped back in the pocket, that offensive front, who's only returning one starter from a year ago, Mason Judy, the center, right? Like, it's just going to take some time for that group to build together because you're right. He took a lot of nasty shots in the pocket.
And kudos to these defensive ends of Wes Ashley. Doing a good job of really not allowing on that particular play you saw, turning everything back in, getting up the field and not allowing the runner to get to the outside where they've had a lot of success tonight.
This time they moved the pocket for Hoop. Nowhere to go, though. There he is. Carson Lucky has really turned it up on the outside. Great play by the senior linebacker.
5'11", 200-pounder. We've said his name several times tonight. That one, Mr. Carson Lucky.
Feeling lucky?
And then in Carson, you know, obviously living in West Ashley, I know some of these kids. Carson, I've known Carson since our days at Ashley River Creative Arts Elementary School. So, yeah, from elementary. So to see him out here excelling on the football field is some good stuff tonight.
Seabrook in motion. They fake it to Johnson. Cam Smalls has got nowhere to go. Big number 64 up front. That was Daniel Dunian. Really doesn't play a ton on the defensive side. Donnie Kiefer gave him a little bit of a run.
Chance to show his versatility and playing on both sides of the football. So just, and that's the one thing we've noticed, Jack, over our 15 years. A lot of these kids, and kudos to them, they play both ways, especially in the linemen, offense and defense. Then you got, you know, your skill players that play, you know, on the outside wide receiver, play in the secondary. So 2 thumbs up to guys that play both ways in high school football.
That snap's going to be fumbled, but a great effort by Karan. Hoop on the outside. Looks like that pass glanced off the fingertips of Cam Smalls. Looked like it was going to be good enough for a first down, but you can see those rain jackets starting to come on as Mother Nature may have forced a turnover on downs.
And speaking of coming on, Noah Brewster, that there with the chase to get rid of it probably before he wanted to or before he could get his feet set. So good job on the pursuit by Noah Brewster. Turnover downs. West Ashley takes over.
Let's see if we gave maybe the twos of West Ashley is maybe by 22 with just 7:24 to go. It looks like they're going to send the starters back out. Maybe a couple penalties in the second half where Coach Kiefer's like, no, we got to learn how to win with this group on the field. Dunian joined to the backfield with Will Washington. Dunian will keep. Oh, man, how about this? He's got a whole lot of green pasture in front of him. Say it with me. To the crib, David Dunian. A 65-yard dash to the end zone unscathed.
In the words of LL Cool J, he is doing it, and doing it well. That's his 3rd touchdown tonight. He had 3 last week, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, and look at the speed. He's running like he's trying to run to an all-academic scholarship because he's got a 5.0 GPA. Taking it to the house call, touchdown, Wildcats.
5.0 GPA with 4.4 speed, it appeared. David Dunian, let me see your boogie. By the way, LL Cool J, I did not have on my broadcast bingo board tonight. You win, sir. The PAT splits the uprights as Jacob Adams remains perfect. A 35-6 lead with 4:13 to go. But how about number 4?
Just breakaway speed. See you later. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Season of Friday Night Rivals here in the Low Country, all thanks to Sinclair Broadcasting. And I don't know, man. We said he was Houdini-esque. Coach Russell Zaire of Cane Bay said, well, dangerous. David Dunian putting a huge push on those Southeastern Spine Institute stats. I mean, check out the rushing numbers of West Ashley.
Yeah, 275 yards on 31 carries, and it's just what they do. They kind of lull you to sleep. They give it to the back. All of a sudden, you forget about David Dunian, and then, bam, just like that, you see him running behind, and you're looking at the back of his jersey. So, and not a bad night offensively for Cane Bay. You see 156 yards on the ground, 76 through the air, but just in the end, they fell behind. They kind of got off script. Give credit where credit is due. West Ashley tonight just was the better team.
The Hootie and the Blowfish, I guess, single greatest song ever. Time of possession has been everything tonight. It was your keys to success, and West Ashley has dominated that category, lulling them to sleep, wearing them down. And David Dunian is a kid that can light you up in the air. They just haven't needed him to tonight.
Well, and Russell Zaire told us earlier this week that, his kids last week with over 200 plays in that game, they just kind of wore down. So maybe from the depth standpoint and the size, Cane Bay still kind of working through the kinks. At the end of the day, we talked about it. They just have to be ready to go once it gets to region play. But just right now, West Ashley just too big, too strong for the Cobras.
You see a little muffed punt on the outside. It's Cam Smalls. He's got some running room to break away. Nice tackle, because it looked like Smalls had a long way to go as Bryson Bowers tackles him and wraps him up at around the 28.
Yeah, that probably was a touchdown saving tackle, because had he not been able to wrap Smalls up, Smalls might still be running towards the scoreboard.
You're the football guru. I'm just a crazy fan.
That's what I hear.
Come on, slight word. Why is it, right? It feels like to me whenever I'm at home watching a game, whenever a dude muffs a punt or even on a kickoff like that.
It's a big play.
Every time.
It's like people break down because they think, okay, and then when they let that guard down, bam, guys run into the end zone.
Okay, so gunners on the outside get undisciplined. That's okay. Every time. I think back to even the Deshaun Jackson play on Sunday Night Football, every time.
Yeah, it just happens. You got to keep that. You got to finish through the play. And I'm sure that's probably the message from Coach Kiefer and his staff, even here with 6:50 left to play. Finish the right way. You've played so well up to this point. You have the commanding lead. Unless something really crazy happens, you're going to win this game. Play like this is a one-possession game, so that way later in the season when you're in that position, you know exactly what to do.
That's Karan Hoop back in the game. He a little jet sweep action to Cam Smalls, but with nowhere to go. Malachi Dickerson, another great play in the backfield.
Also Zion Miller in on the stop as well. And this is when it's fun, because we're got a commanding lead. Just go out there and just play and have fun. That's really what it's all about at the end of the day. It's just having fun and being able to go out there and execute. And that's what West Ashley has done tonight.
You can tell 29 seniors departed this team a year ago. There was going to be learning curves, but with the 15-year man at the helm, there was never a doubt. As Hoop looking for Griffin Byers downfield. Great coverage on the outside from West Ashley. That was Jalen Capers, who has really been locked down all night.
He really has. And you talked about Russell Zaire. Yeah, there's no panic. I mean, if you're from this area, you follow this Cane Bay program, Russell Zaire will have his team ready by the time you look at their schedule. We mentioned next week they host James Island. Then they're at White Knoll, host Myrtle Beach, which is the game you'll see here on Friday Night Rivals. Then they're at Lucy Beckham, at Wando, host Stratford, at Goose Creek, and the final game they host Berkeley. So come region play, this Cane Bay team will be ready.
Towering punt received by Tyler Burnett at around the 40 will be fair caught. There is a penalty flag right before the snap on the far sideline. We wait an announcement from Daryl Deneau, whose crew has done a great job. And as we take a look at the scoreboard, to me, yes, more about what West Ashley has done instead of what Cane Bay hasn't, in my opinion.
Well, and it's so funny when I look back over keys to victory as we give them a grade report. For West Ashley, win the trenches, check.
Legal procedure against the kicking team, declined, first down.
Dooney and Magic, check. Stick to the script. Get out early, play hard, play physical, check. Then you go over to Cane Bay. Own the clock. Time of possession did not do. Protect the ball. They had the one turnover, but other than that, they and stay away from danger. They were down 14-0 before they knew what even hit them. So we were spot on in terms of keys to the game. Game has gone to script in terms of what you and I thought, and a very impressive win for this West Ashley team against what will be a very good Cane Bay football team.
They go to the ground, and this is actually the third running back that we've seen tonight, as we're actually going to get some of the backups in for West Ashley. That's Ruck Smith the backup quarterback in the game as you see him hand off to Zamari Campbell, who had that second touchdown to make it 14-0.
And this is what I always like as well. These guys work hard Monday through Thursday, just like the starters. Now here's their time to shine and show what they can do. But also, if you're in this position, you want to execute because the game's on film, and you want the coaching staff to know that they can count on you should an injury happen or whatever, where you're forced to be called into action. So go out there and just play as hard as you possibly can as well.
Campbell cuts it back up to the middle of the field, not scared of contact as he runs through the big fella. Talked about how good Cordell Holman has been in the second half. Campbell just too much on that run.
Devin Cobb there to finish him off for Cane Bay. Looked like a little mishap that was cleaned up by West Ashley. That's when you know it's a good night. When it doesn't really flow and you still pick up 8 or 9 yards.
He said easy money and purpose-driven athletics is fired up about it. Guiding student athletes to their collegiate success. And Zamari Campbell has been really a treat to watch as this time he's going to be swallowed up in the backfield. Really nice play by DJ Cobbs.
Speaking of fired up, I'm fired up to get home at 11:05 and watch a little highlights from our man Scotty Eisberg.
Come on.
And Webb Wright.
They were here earlier today shooting their live shots at 5 o'clock. Nobody does better in the area. They're everywhere at once. It's crazy how he pulls it off.
Scotty's a little upset. Had Emma Navarro won yesterday in the semifinals, I think he was supposed to go to New York tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Well, safe to say that Emma played well, came up short. So I think it was 7-6 in that second set. And so Scotty will not be in New York. I'm thinking he'll probably be at Johnson Higgins Stadium tomorrow as the Citadel Bulldogs host the South Carolina State Bulldogs in the Battle of the Lowcountry.
Citadel looking for a little bit of vengeance as Maurice Drayton actually coming off his first collegiate win as a head coach. South Carolina State getting the better of Citadel last year in a year where the Citadel went 0-11. But, man, the Bulldogs are firing just like our crew. Are you kidding me? If you're still tuning in, putting on this broadcast for these student athletes, say thank you to our incredible camera crew and staff that helped put on the best broadcast in the state of South Carolina.
Rain, sleet, snow, don't matter. Friday Night Rivals rolls on.
It was a little bit dicey as we were reaching out to people on our drive out, as you see a nice little out route out over the extended arms of Tyler Burnett. But I go, hey, are we going to go tonight? And it almost felt like a dumb question. With these two teams who are about as gritty as you'll find in the low country, it's like, dude, no lightning, we're going.
Well, when in doubt, just reach out to Dave Williams.
Flavin' Dave.
The ABC News 4 chief meteorologist. And Dave's like, might have a little bit of rain, but no lightning, anything of that nature. And as usual, Dave, right on point.
Dave delivers yet again. It's Ruck Smith, Zamari Campbell in the backfield, and they'll just plunge ahead. Campbell with a whole lot of room to go and a 16-yard pickup. Good enough for another purpose-driven athletics first down.
Campbell's trying to get his name in the paper. He's running hard like he's trying to earn more carries the rest of the season. That offensive line still doing an amazing job of just opening hole after hole after hole for these running backs.
I was going to say, he must know that Knights Company's Player of the Game segment's coming up. He wants that number. It feels like right now David Dunian and his 2 rushing touchdowns, the one that went for 60 might be the lead guy, but not if Zamari Campbell has anything to say about it.
I don't know. I know Knights, they were talking earlier when we had Mr. Anderson on about, you don't want to go to college, you want to pick up a trade. But I kind of think the leader in the clubhouse might be one Mr. David Dunian. And when you have a GPA of 5.0, I'm sure as David's saying, hey, what's going on here? What a run and a touchdown by the Wildcats.
Ruck Smith. Look at the sidelines reaction.
I mean, making people miss left and right. What a run by the senior quarterback on Friday Night Rivals.
Ruck Smith said, Jack Everett, I know David was good, but I'm the next man up. Make a man miss right through the field, put the foot in the ground. Come on. The backup flying in. Lead the 41. How about the backup QB?
And now he's going to hold it. Look who's out there kicking. It looks like it's an offensive lineman.
Yes.
Is that Carter Bowie out there kicking? It is. The big guy splits the uprights.
Fire me up. Carter Bowie, who actually came into this game, plays on that line, actually a punter as well. The special teams unit. But look at the reaction. Ruck Smith's going to take us to this last commercial break of tonight's Knights Company's Rivals, driven by Cruiser Chevrolet.
It's not Run DMC, it's Ruck's DMC.
Yep, so many sponsors to show love. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with our Climate Makers coolest play of the game. Your comfort is our business. And the business tonight was all about David Booney. And how about this play? We saw him score twice on the ground. This personally my favorite, though.
Puts that foot in the ground, just turns it up, and just turns on the Jets. I mean, just unbothered touchdown run for the man. Doing it, David Booney.
Well, we'll roll that right into our Will Lou Gray Never Stop Learning, Stop of the Game. Never Stop Learning? Come on, it had to be the sole turnover of the game. How about Caden McKelvey, the interception of Colby LaRocca, the missed timing, and a really nice return for McKelvey.
Yeah, you talked about McKelvey like a lockdown defender tonight. For a minute there, I thought he was law enforcement. He was locking it down so good, being in the right place at the right time. On the overthrow, the big return. This defense, that was the block that we didn't see earlier. I just saw it on the playback. But this defense, special tonight for West Ashley.
He said, ball hawking was Caden McKelvey as he rolled it right in. The Crew Chevrolet drive of the game. I know the scoreboard's been a little bit tilted, but if you're Cane Bay, Colby LaRocca put a really nice drive together, and that's what Cruz Chevrolet is going to show here.
Their one drive that resulted in points, passing the football, throwing the football, did a little bit of everything. And as you can see here, the pass through to multiple receivers, and then the QB, LaRocca, finishing off with the tough touchdown run.
You know, we haven't seen LaRocca in the fourth. Obviously, I let him breathe as it was a long night, but that really was the most balanced drive from either team when it came to obviously picking up first downs, fourth downs along the entire drive through the air and on the ground.
And, you know, if your Russell's there, obviously the scoreboard a little lopsided, but you want to find positives that you can show the kids, whether it be tomorrow, Sunday, or whenever they get together. So that's the drive to say, hey, guys, when we do what we know how to do and execute, this is the end result. This is what it needs to look like each and every week, each and every drive.
Said it at the half. Got to play Cane Bay football. We didn't do that in the first half, and I think a lot of it had to do with the physicality and depth of West Ashley. As this Cane Bay team, young, really inexperienced, are going to, without question, get better throughout the year.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is you talked about a young football team, which means they may take some lumps this year. Hopefully these kids stick together, and then next year and the year after we'll reap the benefits of really kind of coming together as a team.
Big kickoff from Carter Bowie as Seabrook's going to be met at the 26 with 2.5 to go. Let's see if, again, no such thing as moral victory. As you see a couple big West Ashley Wildcats in on the hit. Saw Darrell Green in on the tackle, as well as Cooper Welch.
And now time for these guys to continue what has been a solace defensively for the Wildcats. As you see Seabrook limping off.
Got to make sure that you get that guy back next week. He is absolutely electric. Didn't get the ball in open space a ton tonight, but the offense so utilized around number 3.
Looks like Darrell Green, the junior, in on the stop, along with a host of other black jerseys.
So you see a couple of new faces on that West Ashley defensive side of the ball. Siobhan McIntosh, also Noah Franklin, the baseball standout who's committed to the University of South Carolina. Dude's going to surely play at the professional level, getting some action in on defense. And this is just like, I mean, these are dudes that are 6'3", 220 pounds. They're second stringers for this West Ashley defense.
Just coming off the bench. Joseph Johnson there on the stop at the bottom of that pile. Looks like Siobhan McIntosh.
Saw McIntosh on the special teams unit, too.
Just an all-around complete performance, and obviously Coach Kiefer going to be pleased with this one for sure.
Cane Bay will keep it on the ground to pick up. It should extend the drive. Another purpose-driven athletics first down.
Looks like Aldo Ramirez, the senior, on the stop. It's another first down for Cane Bay. And, yeah, just keep playing. Don't worry about the score. Just continue to execute and build on as you continue, which will be for both teams a very challenging schedule for the rest of the year.
See, this time we pitch it to the outside. A huge hit. Are you kidding me? The dude with the pick Caden McKelvey laying the boom.
Wow. That was that was a collision.
Well, you say, hey, keep playing until the final whistle. Down 36, and you're like, come on, like, you haven't hit me that hard. The ice bat's already calling.
Oh, wow, what a hit. What a hit.
Caden McKelvey at just 5'11", 165 pounds, using all that strength. And a storyline that we probably didn't touch on enough tonight. You mentioned the size up front. I got a lot of people that compete in the weightlifting ranks throughout the season. Donnie Kiefer is actually in the North Carolina Powerlifting Hall of Fame. He's the 2019 South Carolina State weightlifting coach of the year, and his team is quite literally taking the embodiment of what he brings to the table day in, day out.
I guess that if you're a football player and your football coach obviously is a weightlifting legend, that's good because whatever he tells you to do, you do because clearly he knows what he's talking about.
I wouldn't want to lift with him in the weight room. Make sure I got another strength partner for sure. As it looks like this final rush from scrimmage will put the final bow, final nail in the coffin, as it was all West Ashley all the time tonight.
Safe to say West Ashley ran wild tonight. Offensively, defensively, pretty much did whatever they wanted to do, what they needed to do. They executed, they stuck to the plan, and that's why West Ashley now improves to 2-1 on the season, while Cane Bay suffers their second loss in 2 tries.
Donnie Kiefer, in his 5th season, feels like he might have his most physical team to date. Think back to Wildcats of old. A lot of guys on that defensive side of the ball. You mentioned Bryson Bowers and Noah Brewster. Saw a lot of like a dude like Bobby Ruff, who ended up going and playing at Charleston Southern. I believe he's in the Hall of Fame here at West Ashley. Like, this defense plays with insane tenacity, and it was the difference maker tonight.
And that really has always been the staple for West Ashley here as of late. Always tough defensively. Offensively, they're not just explosive, going to score a ton of points, even though they did score 42 tonight. But normally they've been able to just really wear you down on the defensive end and try to win those close games. But tonight, like we said, everything clicking for the Wildcats, and that's why they're victorious.
Well, when we take a look at our Knights Company's player of the game, join a team with leadership, integrity, loyalty, and excellence. Was there ever a doubt? God, was there ever a doubt?
Come on.
Houdini himself, Mr. David Dunion, the senior QB.
3 touchdown runs on the night. Led the charge for West Ashley. The scary part, this guy's coming back next year as well. So congratulations to David Dunion, tonight's player of the game.
So many night puns to make, but he really was the knight in shining armor. Kid can really sling it. Didn't even need him to tonight. You remember it was a rushing touchdown for Ruck Smith at the end of the game. We saw a whole lot of Zamari Campbell. We saw big number 25, William Washington. The rushing attack was potent. And when we come back, it'll be the trophy presentation brought to you by All-American Awards. We'll set it down to Trooper Bob just right after this short break. West Ashley 42, Cane Bay 6. Tonight's company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Trophy presentation right after this. Knights Company's Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet. A little bit of Mother Nature, but a pristine Friday night in the Low Country as West Ashley dominated from start to finish with a 42-6 victory. And this is how they were able to do it. Little stats brought to you by Southeastern Spine Institute. 335 on the ground feels pretty good.
Too bad. 357 total running, passing. A little sloppy on the penalties with 8. I'm sure Coach Kiefer, that's the one area that he'll make sure he highlights to his team. One turnover. Actually, I believe the turnover was to Cane Bay on the interception. But, yeah, not a bad night on the ground, through the air. But more importantly, the only stat that really matters, 42 points for West Ashley, 6 for Cane Bay.
Well, we're going to send it down to the third member of our crew, Trooper Bob, with the fifth-year man, Donnie Kiefer, the strength coach legend for our All-American Awards trophy presentation. Trooper Bob, take it away.
I'm also with the player of the game, the quarterback, number 4 here. Did you got a lot of fans here, also a lot of fans at home watching. What was your message to them?
The only thing I have to say is all God. There's nothing without God. That's it. That's it.
Got you. Coach, 42 points. You talked to your team at halftime. You were already in the lead there. Were you surprised by putting 42 points up at the end of the game?
Not really, and it's not ever for us about putting up a certain amount of points. It's about playing hard, executing, do what we have to do to win. I mean, it wasn't about the number of points, but our kids played well all night, both sides of the ball. I mean, to hold a team like that to 6 points, explosive speed, and we were very worried about that, but our kids rose to the occasion, so it was awesome.
Obviously, the defense did an awesome job, too. We can't ignore the rain in the second half and the third and fourth quarters there. Did you have to adjust your play calling?
No, not really. I mean, we kind of just stuck with our game plan and, took what was there, and, all the kids, made a lot of heads-up plays. Everybody played very physical. A lot of kids got to play tonight, which was awesome, and, we're just happy for this win and ready to move forward.
Congratulations to you guys. Big win. Here's your trophy. Yeah. Congratulations.
Always love seeing the personality. There's big Noah Franklin heading to Columbia next year. Ooh, I like the belt from the Pancake Platoon, Jude Claiborne, but how about the senior? David Dunian was a magician with the ball in his hand all night.
Yeah, I didn't mean to scare the rest of the coaches in the Low Country saying that David Dunian was just a junior. He is indeed a senior, so he will not be coming back next year. But, yeah, just a great performance by him tonight. Congratulations to Coach Kiefer and West Ashley. Job well done and a great win for the Wildcats.
West Ashley 42-6 over Cane Bay. Russell Zaire and his group will without question bounce back. But right now, the Low Country better beware. West Ashley's coming for you. Final thoughts?
Well, they did what they were supposed to do. And like you said, they wanted to send a message to everyone. When everyone watches Scotty and Webb and they see, whoa, West Ashley 42-6 over Cane Bay, something good is brewing over in the West.
Yeah, seriously, remember, after the game, make sure to go switch over to News 4 and get complete highlights from all the action around the Low Country with News 4 sports director Scott Eisberg and Webb Wright. Friday Night Rivals, that show really starts at 11:05, runs all the way to 11:30. Make sure to go tune in. I got a weird feeling we're going to see a whole lot of West Ashley highlights tonight.
Exactly. Unfortunately, this is our only time seeing West Ashley this season, but we'll get a chance to see Cane Bay in a couple of weeks. But, well, next week, looking forward to being at the big stadium as we get ready to see Oceanside and Ashley Ridge.
That game will be at Johnson Haygood on Friday, September the 13th. Come on. The script writes itself. On behalf of Everett German, I'm Jack DeLongshaw. Our entire crew that battled Mother Nature tonight, we say thank you for joining us, and we'll see you just next week. We also say thank you. Jack, you can't cut it this early. Knights Companies, Crew Chevrolet, Mr. Sparky, Miller Dawson, Siegel,